Chapter 795. He used his divine ability again, and Bloodshark's flying boat was already within range of his divine ability. Wang Daoyuan condensed a wall of water in front of the flying boat. The flying boat plunged into the wall of water, and its speed became slower and slower. The two cultivators' faces were filled with despair. They could not escape. After the flying boat stopped, one of the cultivators wanted to self-destruct his golden core, but it was not the Penta Spirit Veins cultivator. There was no point in keeping an ordinary golden core cultivator alive. Wang Daoyuan could not be bothered to save him. He waved his hand and released a sword beam, which pierced through the cultivator's forehead. The peak golden core cultivator died. The spirit power he had just condensed dissipated instantly, and he could no longer self-destruct. The remaining Pentaspirit Veins cultivator was so frightened that he did not know what to do. Looking at the long sword in his hand and the soft armor on his body, they were not ordinary items. This person was probably not an ordinary golden core cultivator. He might be a descendant of an elder. Wang Daoyuan did not care about his identity at all. When there were too many debts, one would not worry. When there were too many lice, one would not bite. In any case, Bloodshark would not let him go. What was the big deal about killing an elder's descendant? The Pentaspirit Veins cultivator was about to say something, but Wang Daoyuan used the White Tiger Soul subduing roar and knocked him unconscious. There was no time to cultivate another split soul now. He still had some left over from the previous split soul he had prepared. He took out a split soul from the soul nurturing pendant and used a secret technique to merge it into the soul of the Pentaspirit Veins cultivator. After cleaning up the battlefield, he continued to head west. The three Yuanian cultivators were quite wealthy. They did not have a lot of spirit stones, but they had a lot of refining materials. They should be the higher-ups of Bloodshark here, and they were in charge of the affairs of the western part of the Sea of Seven Stars. The precious spiritual items that he collected were left in their hands. All kinds of fifth-grade refining materials added up to tens of thousands of kilograms. Among them were 2 fifth-grade demon cores. These things were placed in Beiyuan Xiuxian. They were the hope of breaking through the Yuanian realm. As for things like Dharma artifacts, there was nothing that caught his eye. After dealing with this group of cultivators, the demon birds that were watching him still didn't leave. It seemed like Bloodshark's group was still unwilling to give up. It was unlikely that they would be intercepted ahead. Otherwise, they would have come to kill him a long time ago. There was no need to send 3 Yuanian cultivators to their deaths. However, the possibility of being chased after was still not small. Although a 5th-grade flying ship was fast, as a major force, Bloodshark's refining skills weren't weak either. They wouldn't lack 6th-grade flying ships. Perhaps, somewhere behind him, there were many Type 6 flying battleships or flying ships chasing after him. Whether or not they could escape would depend on whether the pursuers caught up first, or whether the demon bird that was stalking them could not hold on. Half a day later, the newly created doppelganger was completely under his control. His name was Jia Qi, and he was the disciple of a late Yuanian elder. He was a cultivator with 5 spiritual roots, and his 5 spiritual roots were relatively balanced. The highest water spiritual root was 2.4 inches, while the lowest earth spiritual root was 1.5 inches. This talent was top-notch in the Sea of 7 Stars. It was more valuable than ordinary heavenly spiritual roots. He was also highly regarded and was sent to the western part of the Sea of 7 Stars to take up an important position. His master intended to let him gain experience for a few years and make some contributions before breaking through to the Yuanian realm. Then, he could be transferred back to the Golden Scale Island and become an elder candidate. The reason why he came to intercept Wang Daoyuan this time was that he thought Wang Daoyuan was a pushover. If he could take down Wang Daoyuan, everyone in his entourage would be rewarded greatly. He wanted to use this to return to the Golden Scale Island as soon as possible. He didn't expect Wang Daoyuan to be able to kill them all when he was seriously injured. Naturally, the cultivation technique he practiced was also a 5 elements cultivation technique, named the 5 elements Yuan gathering technique. This technique was passed down from the Imperial Regency. It was much more advanced than the 5 spirit immortal technique. In the future, when he perfected his technique, he could use the 5 elements gathering technique as a reference. Unfortunately, the technique he knew could only be cultivated to the peak of the Yuanying realm. It was enough for him to use as a reference for the time being. This technique also focused on essence, energy, and spirit. The path it took was different from the 5-spirit immortal technique. It was to ensure that the cultivation speed was not too bad and reduce the consumption of resources as much as possible. In the case of consuming the same amount of resources, the cultivation speed was much faster than the 5-spirit immortal technique. This was what Wang Daoyuan needed the most. This cultivation technique was very suitable for the cultivation world of the Northern Abyss. Spiritual items were extremely scarce there. Jia Qi also cultivated a lot of Dharma spells, but there were not many that Wang Daoyuan liked. There was one Dharma spell that was very useful to him. This Dharma spell was the heaven-peering secret technique. Jia Qi was a peak golden core cultivator and a disciple valued by a late-stage Yuanying cultivator. The heaven-peering secret technique that he cultivated was much more complete than the 10,000 corpse spiritual masters. Moreover, this heaven-peering secret technique also came with an eye technique. It worked together with the heaven-peering eye condensed by the naked eye and divine sense. Whether it was the probing effect or the ability to see through illusions, it was much stronger. Jia Qi also had a better understanding of this Dharma spell. According to his memories, this Dharma spell was comprehended from a divine ability. Originally, it could only be cultivated to the peak golden core stage. Later, it could be cultivated to the soul formation stage after continuous deduction. Jia Qi's status was not low, so he knew a lot about the inside story of the Imperial Regency. For example, the demon birds that were currently tailing them were released by the blood shark cultivators on the nearby island. These demon birds could not fly too far. As long as they were more than 100,000 kilometers away from the island, they would be able to shake off their pursuit. Blood shark's experts who were chasing him were still more than 100,000 kilometers away. As long as they could shake off these demon birds, the blood shark would not be able to track them. Wang Daoyuan was relieved. Even if the blood shark's flying boat and warship were faster, it would still take them a few days to catch up to him. As long as these demon birds could not keep up, where would they find him in the vast sea? After flying for tens of thousands of kilometers, the demon birds stopped following them. Instead, a few new demon birds joined them. 3 days later, the last demon bird could not keep up. At this time, they had already reached the edge of the Sea of 7 Stars. The spirit qi here was very thin, and there were almost no islands here. Wang Daoyuan deliberately turned southwest to create the illusion that they were taking a detour to the myriad demon islands. This was to prevent this group of people from going crazy and desperately chasing him to the west. If they were like the 10,000 corpse spiritual master and used the doppelganger soul nurturing technique to control the demon beasts in the sea, it would not be impossible for them to reach Beiyuan Xiaoxian. After flying southwest for a short distance, the demon birds stopped following him. Wang Daoyuan flew for another 100,000 kilometers before turning west. This time, those bastards should not continue to pursue him. The flying boat headed west, heading straight for Beiyuan Xiaoxian. Wang Daoyuan's doppelganger, Jia Qi, could not stay idle. He changed to the 5 spirits immortal transformation technique. He extracted the flame essence from the 5 elements spiritual fire in the space and condensed it into spiritual power seeds. Although the cultivation speed could not be compared to the spiritual power seeds formed by refining the spiritual fire, the structure was similar. After he formed his nascent soul, the spiritual power seeds could be integrated into the Yuanying. Wang Daoyuan had always wanted to improve the technique and transform the spiritual power seeds into the 5 internal organs. Just like how the 5 internal organs nourished the body, the 5 spiritual power seeds nourished the Yuanying. If he could succeed, his cultivation speed and the strength of his nascent soul would be greatly improved. Of course, this cultivation method did not have a technique that could be used as a reference. It was very dangerous, and he did not dare to take this risk. Now that he had a doppelganger, it did not matter. It was not a big deal if he failed. It was just a matter of losing a doppelganger. Jia Qi slowly cultivated in the space of the spiritual pearl. It still took a long time for a golden core cultivator to change the technique. Wang Daoyuan also began to ponder the problem of improving the technique. He used the 5 elements primordial convergence technique as a reference to perfect his own 5 spirits immortal transformation technique. Of course, he did not neglect the nurturing of the 5 weapon spirit embryos. The road back to Beiyuan Xiaoxin was much smoother. After all, no demon beasts dared to provoke him. Apart from encountering a storm, he could travel straight. In addition, the speed of a 5th grade high-grade flying boat was more than twice that of a 4th grade mid-grade flying boat. The time it took was also greatly reduced. In just a little more than 4 years, the tall sky-beheading mountain range was already in sight. After dozens of years, he finally returned to Beiyuan Xiaoxin. Chapter 796. Wang Daoyuan drove the flying boat to the mouth of the 10,000 Rivers River. However, it was not peaceful near the mouth of the river. Demon beast activity was abnormally high. There were many rash demons. Fighting with each other was a common occurrence, so he did not take it seriously. When he arrived at the mouth of the 10,000 Rivers River, the entire Linhai prefecture seemed very desolate. When he left back then, there were many cultivators in Linhai prefecture. Sword kinesis flight cultivators came and went. It was very lively everywhere. Now, there were not many people to be seen. The entire Linhai prefecture seemed to be empty. He did not disturb the 13 families of Linhai and went straight into the 10,000 Rivers River Valley. After more than 60 years, the concentration of spirit qi in Beiyuan had indeed increased. The concentration of spirit qi in the sky/mountain range had reached the limit of superior grade stage 4. Stage 5 spirit qi could appear at any time. Demon beasts were also very active. On the cliffs on both sides of the river valley, there were constantly stage 4 demon beasts spying. Wang Daoyuan could not be bothered with them. He only released a trace of Guiyuan sword intent, and these demon beasts hurriedly hid far away. After crossing the 10,000 Rivers River Valley, he arrived at the territory of Qingli Prefecture. Wang Daoyuan took out a communication jade talisman and sent a message to Zhou Luan. Soon he received a reply. Zhou Luan was still at Jade Spring Peak and had not gone to Blood Shadow's headquarters. He continued to go west along the 10,000 Rivers River. The demon beasts in the river were also abnormally active. Stage 4 demon beasts often appeared. When he arrived at the 10,000 Rivers Market, the demon beasts were still very active. At this time, the defensive formation of the 10,000 Rivers Market was fully activated. Demon beasts were constantly wandering outside the market. Some demon beasts even attacked the formation from time to time. This made Wang Daoyuan angry. What demon beasts were so bold that they dared to casually attack their own territory? The 4 top forces had already promised to protect the Wang family for 500 years. Why were the demon beasts still so arrogant? He did not care about the reason. He used the Big Dipper sword formation and summoned 36 sword shadows to attack the demon beasts in the river. The Big Dipper sword formation was enough to kill superior grade stage 5 demon beasts. The stage 4 demon beasts in the river could not withstand a single blow. The dozen or so demon beasts guarding the 10,000 Rivers Market died instantly. Wang Daoyuan casually put them away, and the flying boat landed beside Wanchuan Market. The defensive formation closed, and the 12th uncle flew out. Daoyuan, you're finally back. Your aura is even stronger than Daoist Lei Yan's. Have you broken through to the Yuaning realm? The cultivation of the 12th uncle had also reached the middle stage of the Gold Core realm and was not far from the late stage of the Gold Core realm. Wang Daoyuan hurriedly replied, I'm currently at the middle stage of Yuaning. 12th uncle, why is this demonic beast so rampant? Didn't the 4 top forces come to help? The 12th uncle was overjoyed when he heard this. Now that you've broken through to the Yuaning realm, things will be easier. This matter started from the last spirit qi tide in the Hidden Dragon River. 40 years ago, the level 5 spirit qi tide lasted for an entire day. 2 old fellows from 10,000 years ago appeared among the demonic beasts. These 2 old fellows were both turtle-type demonic beasts with the bloodline of the black tortoise. They had a long lifespan. 10,000 years ago, when the level 5 spirit chi disappeared, they used a secret technique and fell into a deep sleep. Now that the recovery of spirit chi was becoming more and more obvious, they also woke up. During the last spirit chi tide, they caused a big ruckus in the hidden dragon river. They were all at the middle stage of level 5. Even Daoist Lei Yen and ancestor Linglong couldn't take them down. The sect masters of the 4 major sects had to work together with their heirloom magic artifacts to repel them. Now, one of the old tortoises is hiding in the Arctic tundra, and the other is hiding in the outer sea. With the geographical advantage, we can't do anything to them. With their support, these level 4 demonic beasts are becoming more and more rampant. It's common for them to besiege our Wang family's businesses. It's even worse in Linhai State. Level 4 demonic beasts often break into the city. The 13 families are all moving their businesses and clansmen to the west of the sky/mountain range. In order to intimidate them, Daoist Lei Yen is now overseeing the Jade Spring Peak. Only then did the demonic beasts calm down a little. Turtle-type demonic beasts did have relatively long lifespans, and those with the black tortoise bloodline could live even longer. It had been thousands of years since a level 5 demonic beast appeared. Wang Daoyuan thought that the demonic beasts in Beiyuan were all dead. He didn't expect that there were still some that survived by using secret techniques. They didn't show up when dealing with the demons, but now they came out to take advantage of the situation. Wang Daoyuan snorted coldly. These demons are really tired of living. They dare to cause trouble at this time. Level 5 spirit chi is about to appear, and it's time to eliminate the demons. Otherwise, more level 5 demonic beasts will appear and threaten the status of the human race. After saying that, he took out the sword puppet from the space of the spiritual pearl. I'll go back to Jade Spring Peak first. This puppet will stay in Wanchuan Market to guard. Even if a mid-stage level 5 old turtle comes in person, it won't be able to defeat it. If a demonic beast attacks, it will naturally attack. If the puppet can't deal with it, I'll come over to help. The 12th uncle nodded and returned to Wanchuan Market with the puppet. Wang Daoyuan took the flying boat and quickly arrived at Jade Spring Peak. The 12th uncle should have already sent a message about his return. Everyone in the Wang clan welcomed him outside Jade Spring Peak. The flying boat stopped in front of the mountain. Wang Mingchen, who was wearing an embroidered robe and a crown on his head, saluted Wang Daoyuan and said, "Son respectfully welcomes royal father." The others also saluted. "Greetings, Grand King." Wang Mingchen's cultivation had already reached the middle stage of the Zifu realm, and he wasn't far from the late stage. He was only about 100 years old. It wasn't easy for him to have such a cultivation. Back then, at his age, he was still busy establishing his Zifu realm. Third brother and Wang Mingshan had already formed their gold cores. Wang Dezhao wasn't at Jade Spring Peak, so he didn't know what his cultivation was like. There were quite a few Zifu realm cultivators among the clansmen, and those who worked in the king's mansion had already established their Zifu realm. Wang Daoyuan waved his hand and said, "No need to be so courteous. You can all go about your own business." After saluting, everyone dispersed. The third brother, Wang Mingshan, and Wang Mingchen followed Wang Daoyuan into the assembly hall. Daoist Thunderflame was sitting in the assembly hall. Wang Daoyuan stepped forward and saluted. "Greetings, Master." Daoist Thunderflame nodded. "It's good that you've returned. Your cultivation is now above mine. The demonic beasts are rampant, and it's not enough for me to intimidate them. Now that you've returned, I don't have to be on tenterhooks anymore." Wang Daoyuan nodded. "I've heard from the 12th uncle that 2 middle-stage 5th-rank turtles won't be able to last long in my hands. When I have the time, I'll go and slaughter them." Daoist Thunderflame shook his head. "You can't let your guard down. The demonic beasts' hiding places are all advantageous and can display more of their strength. Since these 2 turtles can rely on secret techniques to survive until now, there might be other 5th-rank demonic beasts. If we rashly enter the demonic beast's hiding place and other 5th-rank demonic beasts appear, we'll be in trouble. Let's first maintain the situation and wait for the 5th-rank spiritual vein to appear. Our cultivation speed is far superior to the demonic beasts. The higher the concentration of spiritual energy, the more advantageous it is for us. Before we have the confidence to win, we'll first stabilize the situation. Wang Daoyuan nodded. The demonic beasts had many tricks up their sleeves, so it wasn't strange for them to have some backup plans. If a peak 5th-rank demonic beast were to appear, he wouldn't have the confidence to deal with it. He took out 2 pill bottles. Master, you've worked hard all these years. Here are 20 nascent cultivating pills. Please raise your cultivation as soon as possible. We'll still need your strength to wipe out the demonic beasts. Daoist Thunderflame was very tempted, but he still waved his hand. I'm already so old. It'll be hard for me to take another step forward in this lifetime. You should keep them. The higher your cultivation, the greater the hope of the human race suppressing the demonic beasts. Master, don't worry. I have plenty of these. The spiritual herbs needed to refine the nascent cultivating pill were already ripe. As long as his alchemy skills improved, he could refine the nascent cultivating pill at any time. Previously, when he killed the blood shark cultivator, he also snatched some pills. Daoist Thunderflame didn't refuse anymore. He accepted the 2 bottles of pills and smiled. Then I'll take them. I'll strive to break through to the middle Yuanying stage as soon as possible. I'll be able to help you deal with the demonic beasts. You don't have to accompany this old man anymore. Go see Zhou Wan. You've been gone for several decades and she's been guarding this foundation for you. Previously, when we repelled the demonic beasts, she also contributed a lot. Chapter 797. Wang Daoyuan cupped his hands and excused himself. He then went to the Immortal's cave at the bottom of the earth fire room. As soon as he entered the Immortal's cave, a fiery red figure jumped into his arms. Zhou Wan's cultivation had also reached the half-step Yuanying realm. She didn't say anything in his arms and just cried softly. After a long time, Zhou Wan finally stopped crying. You didn't come back for more than 60 years. I thought you were getting married and having children in the Sea of 7 Stars and wouldn't come back. He hugged Zhou Wan and comforted her. With such a beautiful woman at home, how could I not come back? I brought back a spiritual item that can help you form your nascent soul. You can also break through to the Yuanying realm now. The next time I go traveling, I'll also take you with me. After he said that, he took out the nascent replenishing fruit. Zhou Wan glanced at it and asked, "This seems to be a nascent formation fruit. Bloodshadow's records mentioned this thing before. But nascent formation fruits are usually 1 inch tall. Why is this one 5 inches tall?" Wang Daoyuan said with a smile, "This is a nascent replenishing fruit. When the nascent formation fruit tree was on the verge of death, it used up all of its essence to grow this fruit. In addition to assisting in the formation of the nascent soul, it can also increase Yuanying's potential and heal Yuanying's injuries. I had to kill a peak stage Yuanying cultivator to get this fruit." Zhou Wan looked worried. "Are your injuries serious?" "They're very serious and haven't healed yet. Let's go back to the room and slowly heal." "You can't be serious with your words. You should keep this nascent replenishing fruit for yourself. You often travel outside, so there's an 80% chance you'll have some hidden injuries during your Yuanying. Looking at the current situation, Xiaoxian's spiritual aura will recover in about 100 years. At that time, I'll naturally be able to break through my realm. There's no need to waste such a good thing." Wang Daoyuan said with a smile, "Don't worry. I've snatched a lot of good things. Besides, even if Yuanying has hidden injuries, as long as they aren't too serious, it won't affect her breakthrough too much. This nascent replenishing fruit couldn't be left there forever. Otherwise, its essence would be lost and it would be too wasteful. I snatched such a good thing for you. Shouldn't you reward me? Let's talk about it after I form my nascent soul. If I get pregnant now, not only will my nascent soul formation be delayed, the child might not even have a spirit root. That would be too unfair to the child. After forming his nascent soul, the child's innate talent will definitely be extremely good. There's no need to be in such a hurry." Wang Daoyuan could only restrain himself. "Do you have a suitable place to form your nascent soul? If not, let's go to the Zijin River branch. There's an upper-grade Tier 4 spirit vein there. I've also prepared all the 5-element spirit objects you need to form your nascent soul. You can form your nascent soul after some preparation. Zhou Luan shook her head. There's no need to expose the Zijin River Valley. I've already found a place to form my nascent soul. It's at the meteorite field in the desert north of the mountains. That place used to be the territory of the Demon Clan and the Half-Demon Clan. After the appearance of the 5th-rank demon beast, the Demon Clan became more and more powerful. The demons of the Meteor Fall Plain slaughtered half-demons and human itinerant cultivators. Now, the demons of the Meteor Fall Plain are the strongest. If I form my nascent soul there, it'll be a slap to the face of the Tier 5 demon. The tortoise hiding in the Arctic ice field will definitely come out to cause trouble. When that time comes, whether or not you can deal with that tortoise will depend on your ability. Wang Daoist hurriedly objected, this is too risky. If too many demon beasts come, I'm not confident that I can stop all of them. How about this? The clone I caught at the Sea of 7 Stars can already break through to the Yuanying stage. I still have 2 Tier 5 demon cores. Let him form his nascent soul first and attract the demon beasts. After dealing with the demon beasts, you can form your nascent soul. When that time comes, we'll have 2 Yuanying cultivators and a Tier 5 puppet. We won't be afraid of any demon beasts coming to seek death. The clone is here to block the lightning. It doesn't matter if the nascent soul formation fails. The clone, Jia Qi, was at the peak of the Golden Core realm. His soul was not obviously damaged. After staying in the space of the Spirit Pearl for so many years, he was already familiar with the laws of the 5 elements. It was just that the nascent soul heavenly tribulation was too powerful. If he formed his nascent soul in the space, the spirit herbs that he had painstakingly collected would all be destroyed. On the way back from the Sea of 7 Stars, there were very few islands. There were also many demon beasts entrenched there. It was too risky to form his nascent soul there. He didn't expect that it would come in handy now. Zhou Luan naturally had no objections. She returned to her room to adjust her state and prepare to form her nascent soul. Half a month later, Zhou Luan was fully prepared. Wang Daoist said something to perfected Lei Yan and steered the flying boat towards the northwest. The demon beasts were indeed bold. When they saw a Tier 5 flying boat, they actually dared to come and snatch it. Wang Daoist casually killed them and kept their corpses. Soon, the flying boat arrived at the meteorite field. The meteorite field was not small. It had a radius of thousands of miles. There were more than 10 Tier 4 spirit veins. Among them, there was even a Tier 4 superior grade spirit vein with no attributes. Huge mountains were located on this large flat oasis. Looking from high up in the sky, they did indeed look like stars sprinkled on the ground. This place was not far from the Arctic field. It was only 40 to 50,000 miles away. If a Tier 5 demon beast didn't show its face while undergoing the nascent soul tribulation here, it would really be a coward. It could more or less strike a blow to the confidence of the demon beasts and make them not dare to be so arrogant. The flying boat arrived at the center of the meteorite field, on the highest mountain. This mountain was called the Golden Horn Peak. It did look a bit like a bull's horn. It was the territory of the Taurus clan. The Tier 4 superior grade spirit vein with no attributes was on this mountain. Wang Daoyuan's flying boat stopped above the mountain, which naturally alarmed the demon beasts. A guy wearing a golden robe with 2 huge bull horns on his head flew out of the Golden Horn Peak. This guy's cultivation was at the peak of the Tier 4. Wang Daoyuan did not restrain his aura, so he naturally did not dare to be presumptuous. He cupped his hands towards Wang Daoyuan and said, "This human senior, this is the territory of my Taurus clan. Moreover, my Black Ice ancestor has promised to protect this place. Daoyu, please give Black Ice ancestor face and don't stay here." Wang Daoyuan snorted coldly, "Black Ice ancestor? Isn't it just a bastard?" When the demon beasts invaded, it was a coward. Now that the demon beasts have been pacified, it dares to stick its head out of its shell. It even dares to instigate a group of beasts to attack my property. Now that I've come to attack the demon beast's property, I've taken a fancy to this Golden Horn Peak. I'll give your Taurus clan 2 choices. Either pack up your things and scram, or be exterminated. The Taurus's heart was raging with anger, but he did not dare to make a move. Although his cultivation was low, he could still sense the terrifying spiritual energy fluctuations on Wang Daoyuan's body. His cultivation was not lower than Black Ice ancestors and could easily kill him. The Taurus could only suppress his anger and plead, "My Taurus clan has lived here for a long time. There are still some calves on the mountain, please be merciful." Wang Daoyuan snorted coldly, "This is just learning from the demon beast's usual style. When you beasts bullied the human forces in the north of the mountain, you didn't leave a single one alive. Were you merciful at that time? I'll give you 2 hours. If you don't leave, you don't have to." After returning for a few days, he also understood the situation in Qingli County. Many of the human forces in the north of the mountain had been attacked by the demon beasts. Especially Xianxia's side, which was the furthest from the south of the mountain, had been besieged by the demon beasts many times. If not for Xianxia's high cultivation and formations, he would have been slaughtered by the demon beasts. He was already old, and now he often fought with the demon beasts. He did not have much time left. The other small forces were even more miserable. They did not have Xianxia's strength. Qingli County's reinforcements did not arrive in time. Many small forces that were further away were slaughtered by the demon beasts. The Taurus's temper flared up. "My Taurus clan would rather die than retreat. Although Senior is strong, my Taurus clan's ancestral methods are not to be trifled with. Black Ice ancestor will only need a few hours to reach here. When that time comes, the victor will be unknown." With that, he returned to the Golden Horn Peak. Then, the mountain's defensive formation was activated. A thick defensive barrier enveloped the entire Golden Bull Peak. This formation was not simple. It had the meaning of a fifth-grade formation. It should be a fifth-grade formation left behind 10,000 years ago. Without the support of a fifth-grade spiritual energy, it could only display the strength of a fourth-grade peak. If a few fourth-grade peak demons were to guard it, it would not be a problem to hold off a Yuanian cultivator for a few hours. However, Wang Daoyuan was not an ordinary Yuanian cultivator. He held the origin returning sword in his hand and countless silver streams of light surrounded him. After a while, the silver streams of light condensed into a giant sword that was hundreds of feet long. Wang Daoyuan swung the sword at the Golden Bull Peak. This formation was indeed not ordinary. Under the Demon Slayer sword, it actually withstood for a breath's time. After a breath's time, the defensive barrier collapsed. The Demon Slayer sword dispersed and the silver sword chi swept through the entire Golden Bull Peak. The originally lush Golden Horn Peak was only left with 2 colors, blood red and earthy yellow. There was not a single living thing left. The Taurus clan of the Golden Horn Peak had been exterminated. Chapter 798. The demons on the other mountain peaks were terrified, and some of them even began to move the lower-ranked demons away. Once Wang Daoyuan forced them to scram, they could escape as soon as possible. The Taurus clan was the strongest in the Meteor Fall Plain. They had a long history and had left behind a formation tens of thousands of years ago, but they were still destroyed in an instant. The other demons were much weaker and did not dare to fight head-on. Wang Daoyuan's goal was to lure out the old tortoise in the Arctic icy plains, as well as the other rank 5 demons who might not show their faces. He was not very interested in killing these low-ranked demons. The demons were courting death this time, and Wang Daoyuan had already planned to completely subdue them in the future. Of course, he could not directly kill all the demons. After all, hunting demons was also an important way for human cultivators to obtain cultivation resources. If he killed all the demons, the human race would also lose this important resource. He used the rain transformation technique, and the entire Golden Horn Peak was covered in a downpour. The bloodstains on the mountain peak were quickly washed away. He took out his clone Jia from the space in the Spirit Pearl and gave him a rank 5 demon core and a stalk of broken core grass. He was a Penta spirit root cultivator and did not need any 5-element spiritual items. Jia flew to the peak of the Golden Horn Peak and sat cross-legged on a huge rock. He consumed the rank 5 demon core, meditated for a while, and then consumed the broken core grass. With the broken core grass, the process of breaking the core was much faster. 15 minutes later, he refined the rank 5 demon core and integrated all his spiritual energy into the golden core. Not long after, he spat out the golden core. The golden core quickly expanded to about 4 feet in diameter. Soon, the golden core shattered and the purple mansion left his body. His purple mansion phenomenon was 5 semi-divine beasts, and they were flood dragons of the 5 elements. It seemed that this guy had a high concentration of dragon bloodline. Although he did not have any dragon characteristics, the dragon bloodline still had a great impact on him. He was a good seedling for cultivating the true dragon body tempering technique, but unfortunately, he had to be used as a test subject for the 5-spirit immortal transformation technique. Zhou Luan exclaimed, "This guy's talent is not bad, but unfortunately he met you." Wang Daoyuan smiled and said, "To be able to work for me, that's a blessing he cultivated in his previous life." Zhou Luan had a look of disdain on her face, but she didn't say anything. His purple palace quickly crumbled and his divine soul was exposed. The fragments of his golden core and purple palace realm gathered toward his divine soul, and 5 Jiao dragons circled around him. At this moment, 5 fist-sized spiritual energy seeds flew out from his body. The spiritual energy seed quickly shrank and became extremely condensed before fusing into his divine soul. Jia Qi did not take the nascent formation fruit, so the formation of Yuanying was slower. It took nearly 2 hours for the gold core and the purple palace fragments to completely fuse into his soul. A 3-inch tall Yuanying floated in the air. The 5 illusory flood dragons also transformed into flood dragon tattoos, which were engraved all over Yuanying's head like tattoos. It seemed like not everyone was capable of fusing their divine beast phenomenon together. Wang Daoyuan's situation was never mentioned in any of the cultivation manuals or books. Yuanying was formed, and the heavenly tribulation was about to arrive. A dark cloud appeared in the sky and quickly expanded. Wang Daoyuan also steered the flying boat away from Golden Horn Peak. The spirit chi density in Beiyuan was still too low, so the tribulation cloud gathered at an extremely slow speed. It took 2 hours for the tribulation cloud to grow to a diameter of 50 miles. With Jia Qi's talent, if he formed his nascent soul in the Sea of 7 Stars, the tribulation cloud would be at least 200 to 300 miles wide. However, this was also good. The weaker the heavenly tribulation, the easier it would be to transcend it. The tribulation cloud stopped expanding, and the heavenly tribulation covered an area with a diameter of 50 miles. Jia Qi took out the black jade cauldron and infused it with spirit qi, preparing to withstand the heavenly tribulation that was about to descend. This black jade cauldron was Old Master Huang's natal Dharma artifact. Although it hadn't been reforged and couldn't unleash much of its power, it was still a grade 5 Dharma artifact. However, it was still a peak 5th-tier magic tool, and its strength was comparable to an ordinary low-grade 6th-tier magic tool. It wouldn't be a problem to withstand the Yuanying heavenly tribulation. Soon, a green ball about a foot in diameter fell from the sky. Jia Qi raised the black jade cauldron to block the green ball. The green fog instantly enveloped the entire Golden Horn Peak. The black jade cauldron didn't disappoint. It received all the power of the tribulation cloud, and Jia Qi was unharmed. With the black jade cauldron blocking, it was easier for him to transcend the tribulation cloud than Lei Yanjinren. After all, the purple gold pagoda was only a peak grade 4 Dharma artifact. Although it was made of strong materials, it wasn't a grade 5 Dharma artifact. Although the black jade cauldron's power was greatly reduced, it could still exert the power of an intermediate grade 5 Dharma artifact. If it could withstand the first tribulation cloud, the remaining 4 wouldn't be a problem. 2 hours later, the 5 tribulation clouds passed. The black jade cauldron was intact, and so was Jia Qi. He didn't have any minor theurgies, so he didn't know how to transcend the theurgy tribulation. After the 5 tribulation clouds, the Yuanying heavenly tribulation was over. The tribulation cloud in the sky started to turn from gray to purple gold. 15 minutes later, the cloud layer completely turned purple gold. A purple gold ball of light fell from the sky and landed on Jia Qi's Yuanying. Yuanying's aura instantly soared, and the tribulation cloud in the sky also became much thinner. Wang Daoyuan immediately controlled the flying boat and flew towards the Golden Horn Peak. The gifts from the heavens after the Yuanying heavenly tribulation were very valuable. This was especially true for cultivators with hidden injuries. By absorbing this energy, they would be able to heal their injuries to a great extent. As long as it wasn't too serious, they could more or less recover. After Wang Daoyuan formed his nascent soul, he was also heavily injured, and Yuanying was also affected. If he absorbed the power of the tribulation cloud now, he should be able to fully recover from his injuries. At this time, an ice-blue auspicious cloud appeared in the north. More than 4 hours had passed since the destruction of the Taurus clan. That cowardly tortoise of the Arctic icy plains should also show its head. After a while, the auspicious cloud arrived more than 300 miles north of the Golden Horn Peak. A muscular man stood on the auspicious cloud, his whole body covered in ice-blue armor that looked a bit like a tortoise shell. Seeing the 3 people absorbing the gifts from the heavens, his face revealed a greedy expression. Daoyu, as a Yuanying cultivator, why do you bully the weak and kill members of the demon clan as you please? Do you want to start a war with the demon clan? Wang Daoyuan sneered. Didn't you demon clan start a war with us humans 40 years ago? Over the years, my Qingli Commandery's industries have been attacked many times by the demon clan, and my Wang clan has also lost many people. What? You can kill my clansmen as you please, but I killed a few demons that aren't related to you by blood. Are you not happy? The old tortoise snorted. More than 10,000 years ago, the human clan withdrew from the northern mountains and the sky-beheading mountain range. Why are you barging in now? You have invaded our territory, so it's only right for us to retaliate. Wang Daoyuan didn't want to make a move now. He wanted to stall for time and see if other 5th-rank demons came to die. He continued to argue with the old tortoise. 10,000 years ago, the demon clan was in turmoil, and you demon clan were cowards. Our human clan's ancestors fought with their lives and suppressed the demon clan. After the human clan suffered heavy casualties, you took advantage of the situation and invaded. The sky-beheading mountain range and the northern mountains were also seized by you demon clan through despicable means. The human clan never agreed to it. A few decades ago, when the demon clan rebelled again, you demon clan were still cowards. Now you want to come out and snatch the benefits. You are really shameless. I have already reached an agreement with you demon clan. Golden core humans and 4th-rank demons won't casually fight. When humans and demons with lower cultivation levels fight, we can't interfere. But you demon clan didn't abide by the rules, so it's only right for you to be exterminated. Hearing Wang Daoyuan call the demon clan cowards, the old tortoise was furious. Ignorant child, you dare to speak rudely. You are courting death. After speaking, he stretched out a hand and slapped at Wang Daoyuan. This hand instantly turned into an enormous tortoise claw, emitting a powerful suppressive force. Zhou Wan's cultivation was lower. Under this suppressive force, she could not quite catch her breath. Wang Daoyuan did not want to directly slay him. Instead, he took out the black dragon halberd and welcomed it. Brandishing the large halberd, he smashed it on the old tortoise's claw. This guy was worthy of being an old fellow who had lived for more than 10,000 years. His strength was indeed not weak. Although Wang Daoyuan blocked this claw, he was also knocked back several miles away. Just in terms of physical body, there was a considerable gap between him and this old tortoise. Chapter 799. The black ice tortoise had the bloodline of the black tortoise. The black tortoise had the strongest physical body among all the divine beasts, and it also had an extremely strong suppressive force. The body of a black tortoise bloodline semi-divine beast was also far stronger than that of ordinary beasts. Beasts that could compete with it in terms of physical strength were rare. Seeing that it had the upper hand, the old tortoise sneered, "You dare to compete with a black tortoise bloodline in terms of physical strength? You overestimate yourself." Wang Daoyuan did not take it seriously. He had also tested the old tortoise's ability in this fight. The higher the cultivation level, the less advantage a beast had over a human. This old tortoise was at most a mid-stage Yuanying. Coupled with the fact that semi-divine beasts had divine powers, its strength was equivalent to a late-stage Yuanying. Yinglong's demon-slaying sword could kill peak Yuanian cultivators with divine powers, so he did not need to use his full strength to deal with this bastard. However, it was a pity to kill it just like that. He had to think of a way to lure out other level 5 beasts. 10,000 years ago, there were many level 5 beasts. If 2 of them survived, there might be more. Since the old tortoise had the upper hand, it naturally wanted to get rid of Wang Daoyuan as soon as possible. It opened its mouth and spat out a large amount of ice attribute spiritual power at the Golden Horn Peak. The spiritual power turned into a gust of cold wind as soon as it left the old tortoise's mouth. The meteorite field was a large oasis with many springs and rivers, so the water attribute spiritual energy was quite rich. Once it met the cold wind, it turned into flying snow. This move was similar to the Snow God Palace's frozen sky, and its power was not to be underestimated. Wang Daoyuan did not care about this move, but Zhou Luan was absorbing the gift of heaven and earth below. He did not dare to dodge and used his divine powers to convert the surrounding spiritual energy into fire attribute spiritual power. Then he released the Red Sun True Fire to protect the Golden Horn Peak. The spiritual energy in Beiyuan Xiuxin was too thin after all, and it limited the power of the realm divine powers. There were more than 10 level 4 spirit veins nearby, but the spiritual energy they produced could only protect the Golden Horn Peak. Of course, the old tortoise was also helpless. It was an ice attribute beast, so its divine powers should be related to ice. After leaving the frozen ice plains, he would not be able to use his full strength. The cold wind was dispelled by the Red Sun True Fire. The old turtle exclaimed, "Domain divine ability. I didn't expect such a person to appear in the human race." After saying that, his entire body emitted a cold aura. Within 100 miles of his body, cold winds howled, and there was also an extremely strong power of law. This should be his divine ability. Wang Daoyuan wouldn't just watch the old tortoise use his domain to suck away all the spirit qi around the old tortoise. Then, he controlled the true fire of Scarlet Yang to continuously invade the vicinity of the old tortoise to consume the power of the cold wind. Old tortoise could only rely on its own strength to resist the surrounding flames. He didn't dare to waste any more of his energy. The area of the cold wind gradually shrank, and finally formed a fist-sized icy blue ball that contained an astonishing amount of energy. The old tortoise was also sinister enough. It did not use this small ball to attack Wang Daoyuan, but instead, it attacked the Golden Horn Mountain. The layer of flames on the Golden Horn Mountain was not enough to block the old tortoise's full-force attack. The old turtle sneered, "Your divine ability has great potential, but your methods are too shallow. If you could develop some of your potential, I wouldn't be your opponent at all. But now, you're still far from it." Wang Daoyuan did not mind. He took out a 3-inch-tall purple-gold pagoda from his sleeve and smashed it towards the ice ball. From the small pagoda came Ling Long's screams like a pig being slaughtered. "Big brother, save me. He's a mid-grade 5th-rank beast, and he has a small divine ability. I'm not his opponent." Wang Daoyuan was somewhat helpless. "You have the foundation of a 7th-rank magic tool. Not to mention a mid-grade 5th-rank bastard. Even a peak 5th-rank beast can't do anything to you. Take care of him, and I'll give you more spiritual fire later." Hearing about spiritual fire, Ling Long immediately became spirited. Ling Long Pagoda's strength should be far above his master's. Wang Daoyuan knew his master's strength. It was already difficult to deal with this ice turtle, and there was still a water turtle in the sea. His master was no match at all. Ling Long was different. Her main body could directly absorb the spiritual energy of the 9 elements and transform it into her own strength. Coupled with its high strength, a 5th-rank beast could not break it at all. Ling Long Pagoda rose to a height of 3 feet and directly sucked in the ice turtle's ice ball. This time, the old turtle's face turned green. It thought that victory was in its grasp, but in the end, its killing move was gone. The ice turtle did not want to continue fighting and turned to run. How could Wang Daoyuan let it do as it wished? He controlled his spiritual energy to condense a wall of fire in front of it to reduce its escape speed. He took out the origin returning sword and waved his hand to release a few sword rays. The old turtle also knew that ordinary methods would not be able to block it. The speed of a sword cultivator's magic was extremely fast, and even a beast would find it difficult to dodge. Turtle-type beasts were not known for their speed, so escaping was even more hopeless. It quickly revealed its true form, and turned into a black turtle with a diameter of 300 meters. Its head, limbs, and tail retracted into its shell, and a thick layer of blue ice armor condensed on its body. The black turtle's specialty was defense, and this old turtle's defense was not weak. A few sword rays slashed on the turtle's shell, but only a few pieces of ice were broken. Since it could not escape, Wang Daoyuan played with it slowly. He took out the black dragon halberd and stabbed the old turtle a few times. The old turtle planned to stubbornly resist until the end, and would rather die than show its head. Wang Daoyuan also planned to lure out other 5th-rank beasts, so he did not kill it. An hour later, the purple-gold auspicious clouds above the Golden Horn Peak dissipated, and the gift of heaven and earth ended, but no other beast showed up. Wang Daoyuan did not waste any more time, and it was not bad to take down an ice turtle. Ling Long, keep this bastard in the pagoda, and we'll play slowly later. The Ling Long pagoda instantly grew to a height of 3,000 meters and kept the ice turtle inside. Then, it shrank to 3 inches and returned to Wang Daoyuan's sleeve. Wang Daoyuan also drew out some flames to reward him for his contribution. The ice turtle was taken down just like that, and the beasts on the nearby mountains who were full of hope completely lost all hope. Even the 5th-rank beasts were no match for him, and they could only be slaughtered. Wang Daoyuan returned to the Golden Horn Peak, and Jiaqi's cultivation had been consolidated. Zhou Luan also absorbed a lot of gift of heaven and earth, and was now in a very good state. He took out a large pile of things from the space of the spiritual pearl, which were needed to form his nascent soul and pass the tribulation, including the essence of the 5 elements except for the essence of fire. There was 1 nascent replenishing fruit, 1 core fragmentation grass, and 5 elemental shields of the 5th rank. The things needed to form my nascent soul and pass the tribulation are all prepared. The spirit energy here in Beiyuan Xiuxian is not dense enough, and the power of the heavenly tribulation is much weaker. With these things, passing the tribulation will not be a problem. Zhou Luan took these things and nodded confidently. Wang Daoyuan and Jiaqi left the Golden Horn Peak, and Zhou Luan sat cross-legged on the top of the mountain and first recognized the 5 artifacts as its master. She also knew the steps to form her nascent soul and had seen the sequence of Jiaqi's nascent soul before, so it was not a problem. She took out the red phoenix's nirvana fire and melted the 4 essences of the 5 elements and swallowed them directly. Then she ate the core fragmentation grass, and the golden core quickly left her body and quickly expanded to a diameter of more than 4 feet. After the golden core shattered, Zhou Luan immediately ate the nascent replenishing fruit and threw the remaining fruit core to Wang Daoyuan. Then, the purple mansion left her body. The fragments of the golden core gathered at the purple mansion, and the purple mansion also collapsed, and her soul was exposed. A red phoenix's shadow formed by flames surrounded her soul. At this moment, a white jade energy was emitted from her body. The nascent replenishing fruit's effect was so strong that it was a little evil. With the help of the white jade energy, the Yuanying quickly took shape and was now 4 inches and 3 centimeters tall. Most cultivators with heavenly spiritual roots could not reach 4 inches of Yuanying, and even the direct disciples of the soul formation stage could not do so. The red phoenix's shadow also turned into a fiery red pattern and was engraved on the Yuanying's forehead. In less than 15 minutes, the nascent soul formation was completed. The Yuanying was still wrapped in a thick layer of white jade energy. The energy of the nascent replenishing fruit was obviously not used up, but Zhou Luan's potential had reached its limit, and she could not absorb any more energy. However, this energy would not be wasted. When the Yuanying was injured during the tribulation, she could use this energy to heal her injuries. After the Yuanying was formed, dark clouds appeared in the sky again and quickly expanded. 15 minutes later, the tribulation cloud expanded to a diameter of 300 miles. The area covered by the heavenly power also reached a diameter of 200 miles. Chapter 800. A moment later, a green ball descended from the sky, and the heavenly tribulation officially began. When Wang Daoyuan was transcending the tribulation previously, a low-grade Tier 5 shield was unable to completely block the power of the heavenly tribulation. However, the power of the heavenly tribulation in Beiyuan was far inferior. After receiving the heavenly tribulation, the shield was only slightly damaged, but it was still worth repairing. After the heavenly tribulation, Zhou Luan's Yuaning was completely unharmed. Since the first heavenly tribulation was unharmed, the remaining heavenly tribulations were naturally the same. 2 hours later, all 5 heavenly tribulations descended. Zhou Luan's Yuaning did not suffer any damage. The tribulation clouds in the sky were still thick and churning violently. 15 minutes later, a flaming red luan with a wingspan of more than 30 meters appeared in the sky. It contained a strong power of law. The red luan mark between Zhou Luan's Yuaning's eyebrows also instantly turned into a red luan phantom, bringing a sea of fire to meet the heavenly tribulation. The heavenly tribulation red luan did not fight. Instead, it spread its wings and released sword-like flaming feathers. Zhou Luan also controlled her own red luan phantom to imitate the heavenly tribulation's moves. Unfortunately, the red luan phantom could not block the flaming feathers, and Yuaning was slightly injured. However, the red luan phantom was formed by spiritual fire after all. Some of the power in the flaming feathers was absorbed by the red luan phantom. There was still the white jade energy left behind by the nascent replenishing fruit around Yuaning. After Yuaning was injured, she quickly absorbed some of the white jade energy to recover. The heavenly tribulation red luan played a lot of tricks, but it did not cause much damage to Yuaning. With the energy replenishment from the nascent replenishing fruit, Yuaning was almost unharmed. The heavenly tribulation red luan did not waste any more time. After extracting a large amount of heavenly tribulation power from the tribulation clouds, it turned into flames that covered the sky and completely enveloped Zhou Luan. Zhou Luan also controlled her spiritual fire to compete with the heavenly tribulation flames for energy. After a stalemate for 15 minutes, Zhou Luan's phenomenon was completely defeated, and the entire Yuaning was enveloped by the heavenly tribulation flames. Yuaning was also using all her strength to resist the flames. After another 15 minutes of stalemate, the heavenly might disappeared, and the tribulation clouds began to turn golden. After transcending the tribulation, the flames on Yuaning's body continued to burn. Wang Daoyuan immediately released his Yinglong vision to extinguish the flames on Zhou Luan's Yuaning to prevent her from suffering too much damage. Yinglong was very interested in the power of the heavenly tribulation. He quickly flew to Zhou Luan's side and opened his mouth to absorb the flames of the heavenly tribulation. Very quickly, there were not many flames left. Yuaning's injuries were not serious, and she was still conscious. He was still rapidly devouring the remaining energy of the nascent replenishing fruit to recover from his injuries. A quarter of an hour later, the energy of the youth replenishing fruit was finally depleted, and Yuaning's injuries were mostly healed. Soon, the gift of heaven and earth arrived. A purple gold ball descended and merged into Zhou Luan's Yuaning. Yuaning's spiritual power fluctuations rapidly increased, and purple gold flower petals rained down from the sky. After Zhou Luan's Yuaning absorbed the purple gold ball, it merged into her body. She shouted to Wang Daoyuan, "Daoyuan, come here quickly." Wang Daoyuan directly flew over and landed beside her. He asked with a mischievous smile, "Isn't it inappropriate to do this in front of so many people?" Zhou Luan pinched his waist. "You're always so naughty. You were seriously injured before, so Yuaning might have internal injuries. You didn't absorb much of the gift of heaven and earth when Jiaqi formed his nascent soul. Now absorb more of my gift of heaven and earth to recover your internal injuries." Wang Daoyuan smiled. "My wife knows how to dote on me." Then he began to absorb the gift of heaven and earth, guiding the energy into his Yuaning. Under the nourishment of the purple gold energy, Yuaning felt an indescribable sense of comfort. 15 minutes later, the spiritual power in Yuaning's body flowed more smoothly, and his internal injuries were more or less healed. Then, he began to circulate the 5 spirits' immortal transformation technique and merged it into the spiritual power seed. Under the nourishment of the power of the heavenly tribulation, the special energy contained in the spiritual power seed grew slightly. Wang Daoyuan previously speculated that this special energy was related to the growth of the spiritual fire. If the gift of heaven and earth could increase this special energy, it could also promote flexible growth. This was a good thing. He immediately channeled this energy into the 5 spiritual fires in the space of the spiritual pearl. As expected, after the spiritual fire absorbed the purple gold energy, the special energy increased significantly. The strongest spiritual fire, life spiritual fire, was already showing signs of breaking through to the mid-grade of the 5th rank. The weakest spiritual fire, dust returning flame, had just broken through to the low grade of the 5th rank not long ago. His Yinglong avatar was still flying under the auspicious clouds, continuously absorbing the gift of heaven and earth. Yinglong still had 5 weapon spirit embryonic forms in his body. Absorbing the gift of heaven and earth was also very beneficial to their growth. Perhaps because Zhou Luan's yuaning was too big, the heavenly tribulation it triggered was more powerful. There were also more gifts of heaven and earth, so the 2 of them could not absorb them all. Even the Linglong pagoda flew out from Wang Daoyuan's sleeve and desperately devoured the energy. The gift of heaven and earth lasted for 2 hours before the purple-gold auspicious clouds in the sky gradually disappeared. Zhou Luan looked at herself and stood up in satisfaction. She asked, "Am I much younger? I am now more than 400 years old and have the Red Phoenix bloodline. My lifespan should be more than 2,000 years. My age is equivalent to an ordinary person's 20 years old." After breaking through to the yuaning stage, Zhou Luan indeed looked much younger. There was also a special charm between her eyebrows. Wang Daoyuan laughed. "You only know how to show off. Let's go back to Jade Spring Peak. Now that you have formed your nascent soul, the 2 of us can completely subdue Blood Shadow. There is no need for you to hide your identity. Let's go back to Jade Spring Peak openly and let the people of Qingli County see their Empress Dowager." Zhou Luan nodded and revealed an excited expression. Wang Daoyuan recalled Yinglong. The 5 weapon spirit embryonic forms inside also had an obvious increase in the power of law. He put Jia Qi's clone into the space of the spiritual pearl and took out the flying boat to Jade Spring Peak. The Linglong pagoda chased after them with all its might. "Big brother, there is still me." The 2 of them ignored it. It was not easy for them to have a chance to talk. What would a talkative weapon spirit look like? The flying boat quickly returned to Jade Spring Peak and the 2 of them disembarked. Most of the clansmen had never seen Zhou Luan before. Now that they saw such a yuaning cultivator, they were somewhat at a loss. Wang Daoyuan laughed. "This is Mingxin's mother, Princess Qingyang of Zhou Country. She is also my Dao companion." The clansmen bowed. "Greetings, Empress Dowager." Zhou Luan waved her hand. "No need to be so courteous." The 2 of them arrived at the auditorium. Seeing Zhou Luan break through, Daoist Lei Yan stroked his beard and laughed. "Good, our human race has another yuaning expert. Previously, it was just me and Ancestor Linglong who were barely holding on. The slightest mishap and the human race would have been destroyed. Now that we have you guys, we don't have to be afraid anymore. Right, where is Ancestor Linglong?" An angry rebuke came from outside. "Big brother, you have sister-in-law, so you forgot about your brother. Over 100,000 miles, I almost died from exhaustion. Fortunately, I squeezed out a lot of spiritual energy from that bastard, otherwise you wouldn't be able to see me." Soon after, the Linglong pagoda flew in from outside and landed on the main table. Linglong came out of the pagoda with an angry look. 5 balls of spiritual fire appeared in Wang Daoyuan's hand. Linglong immediately turned into a smiling face with a fawning look. Daoist Lei Yan sensed the situation in the Linglong pagoda and was shocked. "You captured the black ice tortoise alive?" Wang Daoyuan smiled. "I originally wanted to slowly fight with him and see if I could lure out other 5th-rank demonic beasts. Unfortunately, after fighting with him for a long time, I didn't see any other 5th-rank demonic beasts, so I captured him alive. Let Linglong torture him first, then I'll see if I can subdue him. In the immortal cultivation world of the seven-star ocean, the black tortoise bloodline will be of great use. Hearing this, Daoist Lei Yen was pleasantly surprised. If he could subdue him, the human race would have another expert. Daoist Lei Yen nodded. That's good. With you guys guarding Qingli County, I can rest assured. Now that the demonic beasts in the West Sea are running rampant again, there might be a fifth-rank demonic beast behind them. After your yuanying ceremony, I'll go to the West Sea to guard it. Chapter 801. The westernmost part of Beiyuan Xiaoxian was also a boundless sea. However, the deeper one went into the West Sea, the more dangerous it was. Even when there were still demigod cultivators, they could not go too far into the West Sea. However, according to the legends left behind by the ancient powerhouses, the depths of the West Sea was the end of the world. As for the specific situation, no one knew at all. It was not strange for high-level demon beasts to appear in such a place. In the past, the West Sea was more troublesome. The Archaic Mysteries sect was responsible for guarding the West Sea. The Tai Sword sect and the Wind Snow Deity Palace were in the southwest and northwest respectively. They assisted the Archaic Mysteries sect, guarding the West Sea together. Even the Ultimate Heaven Abyss was only guarded by the Divine Weapon Pavilion and the Tai Sword sect. It was clear that the ancient powerhouses believed that the West Sea was more dangerous than the Ultimate Heaven Abyss. Wang Daoyuan nodded. Since that's the case, then the yuanying ceremony will be held a year later. I will try to deal with this black ice tortoise within a year. After chatting with Lei Yen for a while, Wang Daoyuan returned to the underground cave with Zhou Luan in the name of consolidating his cultivation. Once they entered the underground cave, Wang Daoyuan carried Zhou Luan in his arms. Zhou Luan smiled. You're so impatient after just returning. Without my supervision at the Sea of Seven Stars, you didn't fool around? In all honesty, there was a young lady from a large faction who wanted me to marry into their family, but I didn't agree. Afterwards, I went to a secret realm that opened once every 500 years and got into a huge mess. So I kept my name hidden and ran for my life. Where would I find the time to fool around? After holding it in for more than 60 years, how could I not be impatient? The Heart Sutra of Clouds and Rain doesn't have any information about the yuanying realm. We have to spend some time to deduce it. Hearing this, Zhou Luan was very satisfied and did not resist anymore. 3 days later, Zhou Luan was still sleeping soundly. Wang Daoyuan came to the Earth Fire Room to deduce a spell that was compatible with the divine ability. Domain God Art was the most potential God Art, but Wang Daoyuan didn't have any means to match it. Until now, he could only rely on controlling his spiritual energy and spiritual fire to fight against his enemies. He didn't have any particularly effective attack methods. It was not a big problem in Beiyuan. If he wanted to break through to the semi-god realm in the future, he would have to go to the Sea of Seven Stars. At that time, if he didn't have any powerful techniques, he would have to reveal his sword cultivation techniques when facing a stronger opponent. It wasn't as if he had no idea how to deduce spells that were compatible with his divine ability. When he was undergoing the divine ability tribulation in the Seven Stars secret realm, he could use the various methods of the heavenly tribulation divine ability as a reference. The special means he could use now was to use the power of the Azure Dragon Bead and the Gui Water Death Flame to make the opponent constantly lose vitality and spiritual sense. This method was extremely useful in a war of attrition, but it wasn't very effective against a powerful opponent. However, in the divine ability tribulation, all means were combined with the divine ability. Within the entire divine ability domain, there was nowhere for the opponent to hide. This method was worth a try. There were too many seas in the Sea of Seven Stars, and most of the battles were fought at sea. He still had to learn a water attribute offensive spell, just like the methods used by Master Huang. The Five Elements domain originally had the ability to control the five elements. Coupled with the charm of the Five Elements divine beasts, if he spent time to deduce these methods, the power he could unleash would not be inferior to a single water-controlling divine ability. The Black Tortoise Radiant Armor and Black Tortoise Purgatory that he had previously deduced were not offensive spells. It was not a big problem to use them against cultivators of the same level, but it was useless against experts. He didn't have any powerful water attribute offensive spells. However, the myriad dragon emerging from the sea that came with his overturned sea art was known for its power. The disadvantage was that it consumed too much spiritual power. However, with the divine ability domain, he could obtain an endless supply of spiritual power from the outside world. He didn't have to worry about spiritual power consumption at all. Yinglong had all 5 elements. With the Yinglong vision, he didn't have to specifically comprehend the charm of the water dragon. However, this spell was only at the 4th level. He had to deduce it to the 5th level. 3 days later, Wang Mingchen came to the underground cave residence. After seeing Wang Daoyuan, he cupped his hands and said, "Father, there's news from Lu Yuan. A few peak golden core half-demons request an audience." Wang Daoyuan nodded. The humans have Yuanian cultivators and the demons have 5th-level demonic beasts. Only the half-demons have nothing and can only be slaughtered. They were previously bullied badly by the demons. Now, they are most likely seeking refuge with the humans. There's no need to be anxious about this. We'll talk about it after a few days. By the way, what's your purple mansion vision? Wang Mingchen replied, "It's the vermilion bird. Ever since I opened my purple mansion, I've been able to cultivate fire attribute techniques with twice the result with half the effort." Wang Daoyuan nodded. If a single vermilion bird vision can awaken a lesser fire attribute divine ability, your future will be limitless. How are your achievements in governing the country? I've conferred the titles of Marquis to great-grandfather and 12th uncle. I've conferred the titles of Count to 3rd uncle, youngest uncle, and 8th uncle. Apart from that, the Yang family and Dan Celestial Mountains Shen family have been conferred the title of Viscount. Also, Lu Yuan was the first itinerant cultivator to join us and was conferred the title of Viscount. I've also rewarded him with an inferior 3rd-level spirit meridian in the southern part of Qingli Commandery and allowed him to establish a family. The demons have been causing too much trouble in recent years and the industry has been greatly affected. The commandery's annual income is only 4 to 5 million spirit stones. Especially in Green Willow Province, the demons have been harassing us and many itinerant cultivators have fled. Wang Daoyuan nodded. You've done well. The core strength of Qingli Commandery is still our own people. In addition, we have to try to balance the various factions in the commandery. Rewarding Lu Yuan with the Spirit Meridian is a good idea and we can recruit more itinerant cultivators in the future. The commandery doesn't have to monopolize all the Spirit Meridians. It's enough to control the important ones. The less valuable Spirit Meridians can be rewarded to meritorious officials and can also be used to recruit some talents. As for spirit stones and the like, they are all minor details. As long as the industry remains, we can earn back all the spirit stones. The father and son talked for a long time before Wang Mingchen left the underground cave residence to deal with the affairs of the commandery. In the next few days, Wang Daoyuan and Zhou Luan discussed cultivation in depth. Then, they left Jade Spring Peak and headed to Guiyan Market to meet the half-demons. A few peak golden core half-demons had been waiting at the Guardian residence for a long time. When Wang Daoyuan entered the Guardian residence, Lu Yuan and the other half-demons bowed. Greetings, Grand King. As a subject of Qingli Commandery, Lu Yuan naturally addressed him as Grand King. It was interesting for the half-demons to say that. Not only did they want to join him, but they also wanted to offer their territory. Wang Daoyuan waved his hand. Dispense with the formalities. Do you have something important to discuss with me? A half-demon with a horn on his head and obvious dragon chi cupped his hands. The demons are brutal. Ever since the appearance of the 5th-level demon, they have massacred the half-demons wantonly. In just a few decades, more than 80% of the half-demons in the northern part of the mountain have been killed. The remaining tribes can only struggle at death's door in the areas near Qingli Commandery. A few days ago, Grand King showed his prowess by capturing the 5th-level black ice turtle alive and intimidating the demons. Only then did we have a chance to survive. We request to join Qingli Commandery and are willing to work hard to repay Grand King's kindness. There was nothing wrong with subduing the half-demons. After all, low-level half-demons could marry ordinary people. Now that the half-demons had suffered heavy losses, their numbers could not be compared to the human race. Furthermore, the half-demons' reproduction speed was far slower than human cultivators of the same level. After the two sides merged, they would all be humans in a few generations. The half-demons could cultivate innately and could also be the vanguard of the human race against the demons. Wang Daoyuan thought for a moment and nodded. I naturally have no objections to the half-demons submitting. However, I do not wish for a country within a country to appear in Qingli commandery. After submitting, you must be obedient. If you group up and bully my son after submitting, you should know the consequences. The half-demons quickly explained. We are at the end of the road. We only want a path to survival. How would we dare to go against Grand King? We only ask for Grand King to agree to the marriage between the half-demons and humans. We half-demons have always been loyal to the human race. In the past, we were actively recruiting rogue cultivators to integrate into the human race. We did not dare to be disloyal. Now that the human race was rising, there were still some old demons that were alive. The half-demons were the weakest and were stuck between the two sides. Their days were tough. The demons could not tolerate them, and integrating into the human race was their only way out. Chapter 802. The fact that the half-demons were willing to integrate into the human race was in line with Wang Daoyuan's intentions. The human race has a tolerant heart. The royal family of Zhou, Qin, Chu, and the other countries are actually half-demons. But no human would think that they are different. If you wholeheartedly integrate into the human race and treat yourself as a human and fight for the survival of the human race will naturally treat you as one of their own. Since Wang Daoyuan was willing to accept the half-demons each took out a beast skin book and knelt in front of Wang Daoyuan. They said in unison, "We are willing to submit to the human race without any disloyalty. Today, we present the personnel, properties, and the list of our subordinate tribes." The list of personnel and properties was also the foundation of governance. Handing over these things meant that they were handing over their authority. He nodded slightly. LV Yuan immediately understood and kept the beast skin book. Wang Daoyuan smiled. From today onwards, the half-demons of the northern mountain are part of the Qingli County. You can all return now. Soon, the county king's envoy will bestow upon you your titles. The half-demons thanked him again and left. Wang Daoyuan instructed, "Send these things to the county king's residence. The county king will decide how to reward us." LV Yuan cupped his hands in acknowledgement and kept the books carefully. Wang Daoyuan left the guardian residence and came to the underground branch of Blood Shadow. Feng Hu's clone was overseeing this place. According to Feng Hu's memories, his 27th brother, Wang Daojian, was already a golden core cultivator. Ever since Wang Daojian was in the Qi refinement realm, he had received many pointers from Wang Daoyuan. Even the cultivation technique he cultivated was the Guiyuan Sword Codex. After Wang Daoyuan obtained the remnant golden book from the Guiyuan Sword sect, he also engraved a copy and gave it to him. His Purple Mansion phenomenon was an unadorned sword. At that time, Wang Daoyuan's understanding of the Guiyuan Sword Codex was still very shallow and did not think of anything else. The phenomenon in one's Violet Palace realm was closely related to one's cultivation technique, bloodline, obsession, experience, and so on. Wang Daojian mainly cultivated the Guiyuan Sword Codex, and his Purple Mansion phenomenon was an unadorned sword. It was very likely that it was the Guiyuan Sword Codex. If that was the case, then he was also a rare sword cultivator genius. He went to Zhou Luan's cave residence and called Wang Daojian over. As soon as he entered the cave, he was stunned. After regaining his senses, he asked, "Seventh brother, why are you here?" Wang Daoyuan laughed and said, "The hall master of this branch is your seventh sister-in-law. What's so strange about me being here? All right, how's your cultivation going?" He sighed. Although the Guiyuan Sword Codex is brilliant, it is severely damaged. There wasn't much of a problem in the Violet Palace realm, but it wasn't enough in the Golden Core realm. I can only gradually perfect the cultivation technique according to my own comprehension. My progress is very slow. What is your Violet Palace anomaly like? Show it to me. Without any hesitation, Wang Daojian poured a large amount of spiritual energy into the Violet Palace manifestation. This was the secret art Wang Daoyuan had obtained from the essence of divine abilities. He had placed this secret art in the Wang clan's inheritance so that Violet Palace realm and Golden Core cultivators could learn it. A purple light flickered between his brows and the image of a long sword appeared. The long sword had no decorations and it was 90% similar to the Guiyuan sword. Therefore, it was certain that his Violet Palace manifestation was the Guiyuan sword. Wang Daoyuan said with satisfaction, "Great. Our Wang clan has a genius sword cultivator." Wang Daojian was stunned. "Seventh brother, are you mocking me? No one in the cultivation world of the Northern Abyss can compare to you in terms of attainments in the path of sword cultivators." Wang Daoyuan waved his hand. "Your Violet Palace manifestation is called the Guiyuan sword. With this foundation, it will be easier for you to cultivate the Guiyuan sword intent in the future." Then he took out a beast skin book and a painting. "This is the Guiyuan sword codex that I obtained overseas. It can be cultivated to the Yuaning realm. Right now, the spiritual energy in Beiyuan Xiaoxian is gradually increasing and a 5th grade spiritual vein might appear at any time. You're quite talented and have a high chance of breaking through to the Yuaning realm. You can use this cultivation technique. My cultivation technique is of the same origin as the Guiyuan sword codex, but there are some differences. You can change this cultivation technique or use it as a reference to improve the Guiyuan sword codex. This painting is the Guiyuan sword diagram that I copied. You can comprehend the Guiyuan sword intent from it. It just so happens that your sword intent is the killing sword intent, which is similar to mine. The method of fusing sword intents is in the cultivation technique. Just follow it. Grow quickly and become a high-ranking member of Blood Shadow. In the future, our Wang clan will have to rely on you to replace the high-ranking members of Blood Shadow. The Wang clan now had 2 Yuanian cultivators. Together with Jia Qi and the 2 puppets, they had become the most powerful force in Beiyuan Xiaoxian. The total number of cultivators now exceeded 2,000 and could be considered a powerful force. However, they had only risen to power recently and hadn't fully utilized the various inheritances they had obtained. As a result, they couldn't quickly convert the inheritances into strength. Wang Daoyuan had plundered a lot of inheritances from all over the place, and their origins were very varied. If the Wang clan wanted to digest these inheritances on their own, it would probably take several thousand years. If they could subdue Blood Shadow, the Wang clan's disciples could learn their inheritance system and transplant it to their own clan. They would be able to quickly make up for their lack of foundation. As for whether Blood Shadow was willing or not, it wasn't within Wang Daoyuan's consideration. Wang Daojian took the beast skin book and painting and nodded solemnly. "Seventh brother, don't worry. With this cultivation technique, I'll be able to cultivate to the peak of Golden Core within 200 years. Wang Daoyuan patted his shoulder. "If you need anything, just tell the 12th uncle and Mingchen. They'll do their best to satisfy you." The two talked for a long time before Wang Daoyuan left Guiyan Market and returned to Jade Spring Peak. He didn't stay at Jade Spring Peak for long. Instead, he asked his master for the exquisite pagoda and went to Hidden Cloud Continent at 100 River Lake. It was time to deal with the matter of the profound ice tortoise. He would try his best to subdue such a quasi-divine beast. If he couldn't subdue it, he could refine it into a doppelganger. He couldn't use the doppelganger soul-nurturing technique in public. Moreover, the profound ice tortoise was not weak. If it resisted, it might cause great damage to the clan and the clan's property. The only place that was hidden enough and not afraid of being destroyed was the Hidden Cloud Continent's 100 Spirit Immortals cave. Those arrangements back then were not worth mentioning in front of his Yuanian cultivation. Soon, he arrived at the core area of the 100 Spirit Immortals cave and had Exquisite release the profound ice tortoise. This guy had been tortured in the Exquisite pagoda. Now that it was released, it was naturally very angry. Seeing Wang Daoyuan, the culprit, in front of it, it was about to attack. Wang Daoyuan laughed and said, "Fellow Daoist, you should think carefully. Ling Long is still here. With that little bit of ability of yours, you'll only be asking for trouble if you fight." The profound ice tortoise angrily shouted, "Human brat, what do you want? If you want to kill me, give me a quick death." Wang Daoyuan didn't say anything, but Exquisite was unhappy. "How can you talk to my big brother like that? You're just a little tortoise less than 20,000 years old. Should you show off your seniority in front of this old ancestor?" The profound ice tortoise was a little afraid of him and could only suppress its anger. "Daoyu, what do you want me to do? Please say it. I want you to serve me as your master. In the future, you might have a chance to break through to rank 6. The divine beast bloodline in your body is extremely rich. Becoming a true divine beast black tortoise in the future won't be a problem. Once this kind of high-level demonic beast with inherited memories was refined into a doppelganger, it would not have new inherited memories in the future. Its growth would also be greatly affected. Therefore, it was best not to refine it into a doppelganger if possible. The profound ice tortoise snorted coldly. "Although I'm not your match, as a descendant of the black tortoise, a divine beast bloodline, how can I bow and bend the knee to a human?" Wang Daoyuan and Exquisite used both the carrot and the stick on him, but this guy just wouldn't give in. Wang Daoyuan finally knew what was called a tortoise eating a scale. This was really determined. He also didn't waste his breath and let Exquisite return to the pagoda to avoid being accidentally injured. Soon after, he used the white tiger soul subduing roar and knocked the black tortoise unconscious. He took out a divided soul and fused it into its soul. Even if its potential was affected in the future, it could still be a pretty good fighter now. Chapter 803. He sent Ling Long back and put the old turtle into the space of the spirit pearl. Before going to the Sea of 7 Stars, he had 8 doppelgangers. Including the sword puppet and Jiaqi, he already had 10 doppelgangers. The puppet he got later was just an ordinary spell puppet, so Wang Daoyuan didn't inject his divided soul. The puppet could be controlled without divided soul, but there was a big problem in cooperation and it couldn't be away from its master for too long. Now that he refined the old ice turtle into a doppelganger, he had 11 doppelgangers, so he had to give up one. Wang Daoyuan chose to give up on devouring soul. This guy's cultivation was too low, and its ability to hide was almost useless against Yuanian cultivators. Demons couldn't show up at will, so it was useless to keep them. The other demon, Shui Yan, had some value. He had been the main force of refining in the space before, but now with the doppelganger Jiaqi, he was not as useful as before. The doppelganger Jiaqi was proficient in alchemy and refining, and now he had reached the upper grade of the 4th rank. His soul wasn't damaged much, so he could go further in the future. Besides refining, Shui Yan had another use. That was to provide blood essence for the true demon blood lotus. The blood lotus seed he got was of the upper grade of the 3rd rank. With Shui Yan, a late gold core blood demon, providing blood essence, and the concentration of spirit chi in the space of the spirit pearl was getting higher and higher. The true demon blood lotus had also reached the middle grade of the 4th rank. Maybe because it was about to advance, this guy hadn't bloomed yet. The jade needle white jade pine that he got at the auction of the Zhou nation had matured. It had produced 3 pine cones, a total of 9 pine nuts. The fruit tree had also reached the upper grade of the 4th rank, and this thing had the potential to grow to the 5th rank. Moreover, it was very useful for a family. Wang Daoyuan planted all these pine nuts, and now 9 pine saplings had grown. Although it had been many years since the 5th rank spirit vein appeared in the space of the spirit pearl, there were still not many spiritual plants that broke through the 5th rank. Apart from the 5th rank spiritual plants obtained in the Sea of 7 Stars, only the spirit peach tree, the yellow spring willow, and the blood fire hibiscus broke through the 5th rank. The other spiritual plants, such as the hidden cloud tea, were only of the upper grade of the 4th rank. Before he left Beiyuan, he plucked a willow twig from the green willow island and planted it in the space of the spiritual pearl. Now, more than 60 years had passed, and thousands of years had passed in the space of the spirit bead. The hollow willow was only a level 1 upper grade willow. The willow tree was only as tall as a person and had a diameter of about 1 inch. It seemed that the big willow tree of the green willow continent was more than tens of thousands of years old. It was hard to imagine how long it had lived. Right now, the big willow tree was still a low-grade Tier 1 tree. After a few decades, the only difference was that its spiritual energy fluctuations were slightly stronger. The growth of the green willow's secret realm was very gratifying. The spirit vein was already very close to the high grade of the 4th tier. After staying in the 100 Spirits Immortal's cave for half a day, the divided soul took control of the ice tortoise's body. From the memories of the black ice tortoise, he knew that the black ice tortoise had been sleeping in the Arctic ice field. Previously, when he went to the Hidden Dragon River to wreak havoc, he also sensed the aura of a Stage 5 spiritual chi. It was not with the water attribute old tortoise. Moreover, in his memory, he did not discover the existence of other 5th-order demonic beasts in the Arctic ice plains. Wang Daoyuan heaved a sigh of relief when he heard this. At least the northern mountain demon tribe would not cause any more trouble for the time being. He could concentrate on dealing with the old tortoise in the sea. The ice tortoise clone stayed in the big pond at the northernmost end of the space. It liked the yin qi in the water very much. It could even use the yin qi to cultivate. Wang Daoyuan did not care about it anymore. It was best to drain all the yin qi. The remaining water could be used to raise fish. He did not plan to go back so soon. He released the sword puppets to guard outside. Yuanying entered the space of the spiritual pearl and began to deduce his water dragon technique. He also tried to combine it with the divine ability. It was not difficult to deduce a Stage 4 spell to Stage 5. It was nothing more than integrating the power of law into the spell so that it could unleash enough power to kill Yuanying cultivators. The water dragon technique itself was relatively complete. It also had other Stage 5 spells as a reference. In addition, the flow of time was more than 70 times faster. It only took him a month to deduce the water dragon technique to the middle grade of the 5th tier. He cultivated the water dragon technique mainly for the power of the 10,000 dragons emerge from the sea. The more water dragons he condensed, the stronger the power he could unleash. At the same time, the consumption of his divine sense would be greater. He focused on reducing the consumption of his divine sense. When he activated the divine ability, it was not a problem for him to control 20 water dragons at the same time. Then, he tried to combine the water dragon technique with the divine ability. There were no shortcuts. He could only try and comprehend as much as he could. It took him half a year to combine the water dragon technique with the divine ability. The power it could unleash surpassed that of an ordinary Stage 5 spell. It was not a problem to deal with cultivators of the same level. Compared to Old Master Huang's water-controlling divine ability, there was still a big gap. After all, his water-controlling divine ability was a single divine ability. It was easier to combine it with other spells. In addition to thousands of years of polishing, it was naturally not something that Wang Daoyuan, who was a beginner, could compare to. The rest was a painstaking effort. The deeper the fusion between the spell and the divine ability, the less divine sense it would consume when casting the spell. The number of water dragons he could control would also increase. After staying here for more than half a year, if he did not return, Zhou Luan would probably come to capture him. When he returned to the Jade Spring Peak, he greeted his master and told him that he had refined the old turtle into a clone. Then he returned to the underground cave. In the next few months, he accompanied Zhou Luan to cultivate. The Yuanying ceremony was approaching. The one with the biggest headache was the Zhao clan. It had been more than 100 years since the restoration of the Zhao country. The Longyu city on the Longyu plain had also been built. The capital had also moved from the Three River Market to the Longyu city. With the capital, the Zhao clan also had signs of resurgence. However, not only did the Zhao clan's strength not increase, it was declining. In these years, the Zhao clan's elders had withered. There were already 3 late Golden Core cultivators who had passed away. Emperor Zhao and Zhao Lingjiang were not young anymore. Without enough ordinary people, there were very few low-level cultivators. The Zhao clan's strength was seriously insufficient. In the next few hundred years, they could only recuperate and could not afford to fight anymore. The sixth prince's small imperial court was already entrenched in the southwest of the Zhao country. Now that the Wang clan had risen to such a level, it was a headache for the Zhao country. The Qingli commandery did not dare to take care of it. It would lose another prosperous commandery. Now that the Wang clan had 2 Yuanian cultivators, the Qingli commandery would continue to be a vassal of the Zhao country. The Zhao emperor was scared witless. The Zhao emperor, Zhao Jinghua, and Crown Prince Zhao Qingxian were discussing matters in a large hall. The Zhao emperor sighed. The Wang clan now has 2 Yuanian cultivators. Its strength has surpassed the 4 top powers. Such a great power is a vassal of the Zhao family. A strong vassal and weak ruler is not a good thing. Crown Prince, how do you think we should deal with this matter? Zhao Qingxian thought for a moment and replied, there is no meaning in the Qingli commandery continuing to be a vassal of the Zhao country. On the contrary, it would appear that the Zhao family does not know how to handle matters. Even if the 2 Yuanian cultivators did not say anything, the rest of the Wang clan would not be happy. Rather than that, it would be better to make Prince Qingli the emperor. In the future, the Qingli commandery will be on equal footing with the Zhao country. There will be no relationship between ruler and vassal. In fact, the Zhao family can even be a vassal of the Wang clan. Our Zhao family has shown kindness to the Wang clan, so the Wang clan has no reason to destroy us. The Zhao emperor nodded. When the time comes, the heavens and earth will work together. When the time comes, the heroes will not be free. When the time came, the imperial emperor and his brother only needed a few hundred years to conquer half of the Zhao country. Later, our ancestors destroyed more than 10 small countries, crippled the Wei and Song, and intimidated the Zhou country. They were on par with the Qin country. When the time was not right, the country was overturned, and the clan was almost exterminated. Now, the Wang clan has grown from a foundation establishment clan to its current state in a mere 300 years. When the time comes, the Wang clan will be in a weakened state. We cannot compete with them. With the Wang clan's strength, they will no longer target the Zhao country. The Heaven-Behead Mountain Range and the Eastern Sea are the Wang clan's true goals. Duke Xin, I will leave the matter of making Prince Qingli the emperor to you. Zhao Jinghua cupped his hands in acknowledgement and left the hall. Chapter 804. On the day of the Yuaning ceremony, Wang Daoyuan wore the long robe of the Wang family's grand elder, while Zhou Luan wore the phoenix coronet and robe of the Zhou kingdom's princess. The two of them sat at the head of the auditorium. The guests outside continuously entered the auditorium and bowed to the two of them. Those who could enter the hall were at least in the Golden Core realm. Most of the factions with Golden Core realm cultivators had sent people. Even the Song kingdom had sent their crown prince to congratulate them. Only the sixth prince was in an awkward position. The Savage Sun Palace and the Wang family were mortal enemies. The Savage Sun Palace was an important bargaining chip for the sixth prince to fight for power with the Myriad Spirit sect. If he kept it, he was afraid that Wang Daoyuan would deal with him. If he abandoned it, he was afraid that he would become a puppet of the Myriad Spirit sect. In this dilemma, he could only pretend that he didn't see anything. Wang Daoyuan was a Yuanian cultivator and couldn't be bothered with them. The sixth prince's small imperial court was sandwiched between the Zhao and Song kingdom. The Song kingdom wouldn't dare to support the sixth prince in the future. As long as the Zhao family could get over this, it was only a matter of time before they destroyed the sixth prince. The half-demon tribes that had just submitted to the Qingli commandery also sent Golden Core cultivators. In order to win over the half-demons, the Wang family arranged for them to sit in the hall. Zhao Jinghua and Crown Prince Zhao Qingxian from the Zhao kingdom came together. Cultivators from other small kingdoms also arrived. The Grand Emperor of the Zhou kingdom, Daoist Fengyi, also came to the Yuchuan Peak with Daoist Mo Lin, the Grand Emperor of the Qin kingdom. Both of them were 200 to 300 years old, but they had enough divine beast bloodlines and were far from dying. Now that their spirit qi was recovering, they still had a chance to break through to the Yuaning realm. This time, they were able to listen to the Yuanian cultivators preaching and gain some experience. Daoist Fengyi was also more casual. After arriving at the hall, he smiled and said, "The younger generation will surpass us in time. My niece and niece-in-law have both broken through to the Yuanying realm. Daoist Fengyi and Daoist Mo Lin were senior, so Wang Daoyuan and Zhou Luan also stood up and bowed. Zhou's cultivation speed wasn't slow, and he had reached the late-stage golden core realm. This time, he was more well-behaved. He bowed and said, "Greetings to aunt and uncle." Wang Daoyuan had a kind smile on his face as he said, "Nephew, you may dispense with the formalities." Zhou Jingyuan didn't say anything. Wang Mingchen walked over and led eldest cousin to his seat. Next were the cultivators from the 4 top forces. The Wind Snow Deity Palace had sent Daoist Flying Snow, who was about to take over the position of Palace Master. Only Xian Jiuxiao from the Tianji sect came alone. His cultivation level was also in the late Golden Core stage. Kuei Jian came from the Tai Sword sect. Swordless Spiritual Master had already become the sect master of the Tai Sword sect. The West Ocean was not peaceful, and there were no Yuanying cultivators guarding it. The 3 sects still had to guard the West Sea, so their experts didn't dare to leave easily. On the other hand, the Divine Weapon Pavilion did not treat Wang Daoyuan as an outsider at all. The sect master brought several peak Jindan stage cultivators with him. In addition, Spiritual Master Lei Yen was also here. It was completely possible to hold a meeting of the upper echelons of the Divine Weapon Pavilion. The southern wasteland had been cleaned up a few times when they were fighting the devil race. Now, no one dared to cause trouble, so the entire southern wasteland was very peaceful. It wasn't a problem to pick out a few cultivators to listen to the Yuanying cultivators preaching. Everyone was present, and the gifts they gave were not bad. However, none of them caught Wang Daoyuan's eye. None of the sects had rank 5 spiritual items. Other than their core inheritances, there was nothing else that could move the Yuanying cultivators. After that, Wang Daoyuan and Zhou Luan started preaching to the guests. Even Daoist Lei Yen answered the questions of the cultivators. This preaching lasted for 3 months. After the preaching ended, the cultivators left one after another. Only the 4 top forces, Zhou, Qin, and Zhao were left. The demon race was rampant. Next, they would definitely discuss how to deal with the demon race. The 4 top forces, Zhou and Qin, were all influential forces in Beiyuan. Naturally, they stayed to discuss important matters. On the other hand, Zhao Jinghua and Zhao Qingxian continued to stay, which confused Wang Daoyuan. After the others left, Wang Daoyuan asked, "Daoyu Zhao, Your Highness Crown Prince, what's the matter?" Zhao Jinghua stood up and cupped his hands. "Senior is already a Yuanying cultivator. Back then, you made a great contribution to quelling the devil race. Now, he had killed the level 5 black ice tortoise in the north of the mountain. My Zhao clan no longer dares to be the sect master of Qingli County. I am under the orders of Emperor Zhao to ask County King Qingli to become the emperor." Hearing this, everyone was a little stunned. Although with Wang Daoyuan and his wife's strength, the Zhao clan couldn't command Qingli County. However, the Zhao clan's boldness was not weak to just give up a county's territory. Although the Wang clan's inheritances were not fully utilized, their foundation was stronger than the Zhao clan's. In addition, with Wang Daoyuan's help, the Zhao clan's strength would not be comparable to the Wang clan's in the future. Although the Wang clan was nominally a vassal of the Zhao clan, in reality, the Zhao clan could no longer command the Wang clan. It made no difference to the Wang clan whether they called themselves king or emperor. However, since the Zhao clan took the initiative to ask, the Wang clan could not refuse. Wang Daoyuan nodded. "Then, many thanks for Emperor Zhao's good intentions. This matter will be handled by Mingchen." He naturally would not call himself emperor. These small matters would be left to the county king's manor. Wang Mingchen stood up and cupped his hands. "Yes, father." Finished speaking, he left the hall with Zhao Jinghua and Zhao Qingxian. Daoist Master Feng Yi smiled. Emperor Zhao is worthy of being the descendant of Emperor Zhao. This boldness does not lose to the previous emperor of Zhao. In the past, Emperor Zhao dared to challenge this old man. His son also decisively gave up a county. For Zhao to have such an emperor, it seems the country still has a long way to go. The others deeply agreed. Emperor Zhao's boldness was not ordinary. Those who remained were all major powers. It was time to talk about resisting the demon beasts. Xianxia left his seat and cupped his hands to everyone. Seniors, this junior is here on my father's orders to ask for help. Since the last hidden dragon river's spiritual energy tide, the demon beasts in the West Sea have become active. A small number of Tier 4 high-grade demon beasts have come ashore and attacked our Archaic Mysteries sect's property. These years, the attacks have become more frequent. Many demon beasts with Tier 4 peak cultivation have appeared. Our Archaic Mysteries sect's cultivators are exhausted. In recent years, Tier 4 demon beasts have come ashore to attack almost every day. If not for the array, our Archaic Mysteries sect would not have been able to hold on. If 5 demon beasts appear, our Archaic Mysteries sect will be destroyed overnight. Hearing this, Daoist Master Lei Yen nodded. I also heard about the Archaic Mysteries sect, but I did not expect the demon beasts to be so rampant. You can rest assured. Now that Daoyuan has returned, there will be no problem guarding the sky-beheading mountain range and Wanchuanha. Soon I will bring the Linglong Pagoda to the West Sea. With me and Ancestor Linglong, even if Tier 5 demon beasts appear, we will not be helpless. Xianxia was overjoyed. With Daoist Master Lei Yan's promise, the West Sea would have 2 powerful yuanying experts overseeing it. There was nothing to be afraid of. Wang Daoyuan also said, I still have to guard the sky-beheading mountain range and guard against the old turtle hiding in the outer sea. I cannot go to the West Sea for now. However, I have a Tier 5 high-grade flying ship. If the West Sea is in danger, send me a message at any time. I only need 3 to 5 days to reach the West Sea. With Wang Daoyuan's promise, Xianxia was even more confident. At this moment, Kuei Jian left his seat and cupped his hands. Senior, disciple has been entrusted by Senior to come and ask Senior to nurture the Tai-E God Sword to Tier 5. If Tier 5 demon beasts appear in the West Sea, the Tier 5 Tai-E God Sword will be of great use. My Tai-E Sword sect is willing to exchange sword cultivation techniques and spells for Senior's help. Although he did not fancy ordinary spiritual items, the sword cultivation legacy was still not bad. The Wang clan's sword cultivation legacy was still too weak. Clansmen with sword cultivation talent might not be suitable to cultivate the Beiyuan sword Immortal's legacy. If he could obtain some sword cultivation legacy from the Tai-E sword sect, it would be very valuable. Wang Daoyuan smiled. Senior brother Kuei Jian, there is no need to be so polite. You and I can address each other as equals. I have the Tai-E Golden Flames. Nurturing a Tai-E God Sword will not take much effort. Since that is the case, many thanks junior brother. After Martial Uncle Lei Yen oversees the West Sea, I will send the Tai-E God Sword and Sword Cultivation Legacy over. Chapter 805. After Wang Daoyuan and Kuei Jian finished their discussion, Lei Yanjinren continued. The demons in the north of the mountain have been suppressed, and the half-demons have submitted, so there's no need to worry for now. There's also an old turtle in the outer sea that could cross the sky-beheading mountain range at any time. However, with Daoyuan here, there's no need to worry. In ancient times, there was a rumor that the depths of the West Sea was the end of the world. Even the ancient powerhouses were unwilling to go in, so it's hard to say how many hidden demons there are. We have to be fully prepared, lest too many demonic beasts suddenly appear and catch us off guard. The 7 factions present were the strongest in the cultivation world of the North Abyssal Realm. It's our responsibility to protect Beiyuan. Each of us will send some people to help the Archaic Mysteries sect guard the West Sea. Since it was proposed by his master, Wang Daoyuan, as his disciple, naturally had to help out, I've subdued a mid-grade level 5 mysterious ice turtle, so I can guard the West Sea. With the addition of another nascent soul realm cultivator, everyone was more confident. Hearing this, Zhou Country's retired emperor smiled. Zhou Country is deep in the center of human territory and is protected by various factions. During the last tide of the Hidden Dragon River, it was thanks to the help of various factions that we were able to protect our foundation. When it comes to the survival of the human race, Zhou Country naturally has to take action. I'll bring 5 peak Aurus core stage cultivators of the Zhou family and their inherited magic artifacts to guard the West Sea. Qin Country, Wind Snow Deity Palace, and Tai Sword Sect also expressed that they would send half-step Yuanying experts to guard the West Sea with their inherited magic artifacts. Lei Yanzhenren nodded with satisfaction. The level 5 spiritual energy is about to appear, and it's the most intense time for the human race and the demon race. Everyone, do your best to guard the West Sea. When the level 5 spiritual vein appears, our cultivation speed will be faster, and it'll be easy for us to gain an overall advantage. As long as we survive this period, the demon race won't be worth mentioning in the future. Furthermore, the current situation is much stronger than when we were fighting against the demon race. At least on the surface, our Yuanying fighting force still has the absolute advantage. After discussing a few more details, the crowd gradually dispersed. After everyone left, Daoist Thunderflame also prepared to leave. Daoist, I'll leave the Heaven/Mountain range to you. You've always been reliable, and your strength is far above mine, so I have nothing to worry about. I just want to remind you to be careful. Wang Daoyuan took out the black ice tortoise from the Spirit Pearl space and had Ling Long put it into the tower. Don't worry, Master. I've fought many Yuanying cultivators in the Sea of 7 Stars. Dealing with a mid-tier 5th-rank demonic beast shouldn't be too much of a problem. Daoist Thunderflame took the Twinkle Gem Pagoda and rode the flying warship towards the west. Wang Mingchen, Wang Mingshan, and Wang Daocheng discussed with the Zhao family about the matter of becoming emperor. Neither side had any objections to the founding of the country. The territory had long been clearly demarcated, and the framework of the prince's mansion had long been set up during the time of the governor's mansion. After proclaiming himself as an emperor, he could no longer use Qingli County as his title. He had to find a more impressive title. Over 10,000 years ago, Qingli County didn't have an independent country, so there was no way to talk about inheriting the title of an ancient country. Zhao Jingguo was in charge of the inheritance and etiquette of the Zhao family, so he was naturally proficient in this aspect. Although Qingli County doesn't have an ancient country, there is one north of Mount Huiyan. Over 10,000 years ago, when Yuanying cultivators could still be produced, most of the territory in Shanbei belonged to the human race, and the Zhou country was only divided into a few small countries in Shanbei. Later on, the human race declined, and the demon race rose. The small countries in Shanbei couldn't hold on any longer, and their cultivators and ordinary people migrated to Shanbei. Now that most of the powers in Shanbei have submitted to Qingli County, it's not impossible to use the name of Shanbei Ancient Country as the title. These few countries are Yan, Ji, Xing, Zhou, and Qi. Which one does your highness think is more suitable? Wang Mingchen thought for a moment and answered, I've read all kinds of books, and I've also heard of the Yan country. This is the strongest of the small countries in Shanbei. Moreover, after the Yan country fell, the descendants of the royal family migrated to Shanbei. Many of the Yan country's royal family members changed their surname to Wang. Most of the surname Wang in Zhao are descendants of the Yan country. Our Jade Spring Wang family's foundation is shallow, and we can't trace back to our ancestors from 10,000 years ago. Although we can't confirm that they are descendants of the Yan country, the possibility is very high. I've decided to use the Yan country as the title. Zhao Jingguo cupped his hands. In that case, we'll do as your highness says. When I return, I'll report this to his majesty. Then he left with Zhao Qingxian. Wang Mingshan asked, where will we put the capital? In the future, we'll expand to the east and north. If we put the capital in Wanchuan Market, it won't be convenient. Once the demon beasts in Wanchuan River move, Wanchuan Market will have to activate the defensive array, and there's no guarantee of safety. Wang Mingchen answered, naturally, we should put it in Qingli Market. In the future, we'll swallow the entire Shanbei region, and it's too remote to put the capital in Wanchuan Market. Father said that whether it's Qingli County or the future Yan country, the most important thing to rely on is our Wang family. Qingli Market is behind our Wang family's core territory, and it's easier to mobilize power. To the east is Oasis and Fallen Dragon Ridge, and it'll be convenient to develop the Sky Beheading Mountain Range. It's not far from Shanbei, and it'll be more convenient to control Shanbei. Wanchuan Market is on the Wanchuan River, and once the demon beasts move, it'll be immediately threatened. Moreover, if we set the capital in Wanchuan Market, it means that we intend to expand along the Wanchuan River. I'm afraid that the Zhao Emperor won't be able to sleep well. The only drawback is that the grade of the spirit veins is too low. However, the spirit energy will slowly recover in the future, and the grade of the spirit veins will also increase. Wang Daochang smiled. Mingchen's words are reasonable. Then we'll prepare to build the new capital in Qingli Market. These years, the demon beasts are causing trouble, and business is not good, but we've stored a lot of materials. It's more than enough to build the new capital. After deciding on the title and capital, they began to work on the various ceremonies. Zhao country had a headache, and the ceremony was not easy to decide. The two countries were on equal footing, and it was not appropriate to use the ceremony of the emperor rewarding his subjects. But without the ceremony, the founding of Yan country and Zhao country had nothing to do with each other. After a long discussion, they finally decided that Zhao country would gift the land, crown, and robes. As for the ceremony of proclamation, the Wang family would organize it themselves, and Zhao country would just show up. As a rising power, the Wang family was very efficient. In just a year's time, he had built a 50 square kilometers city in the old square of Clear Glass City. The old square was north of Qingxi River, east of Qingli River, which was also the traditional sphere of influence of the Wang family. After the capital was built, it was time to proclaim the country as the emperor. The Zhao emperor sent Zhao Jinghua and Zhao Qingxian to deliver the emperor's crown and dragon robes. Zhao Qingxian also announced that Zhao country would gift Qingli County, Jinyan City, and Shanbei's land to Yan country. Then, in front of the imperial ancestral temple in the capital, they held the proclamation ceremony. Wang Daoyuan and Zhou Luan, as the retired emperor and empress dowager, naturally had to participate in the ceremony. Wang Mingchen put on the dragon robes, and Wang Daoyuan personally put on the emperor's crown for him, encouraging him. Receiving the country's filth is to be the ruler of the country. Receiving the country's misfortune is to be the king of the world. Since you are the emperor, you have to bear the heavy burden of the country and seek benefits for the people. Wang Mingchen cupped his hands and said, I will follow father's teachings. Next, Wang Jian, who was the oldest in the Wang family, personally read the funeral oration. He told the ancestors that the future generations would proclaim themselves as the emperor and prayed for the ancestors' blessings. After the ancestor worship, Wang Mingchen led everyone to the Huangji Hall in the center of the imperial palace, ascended the dragon throne, and accepted everyone's worship. Wang Daoyuan and Zhou Luan didn't join in the fun, and left the imperial palace, returning to Yuchuan Peak. Wang Daoyuan didn't take the proclamation seriously, but Zhou Luan was full of joy. Mingchen looks better in the dragon robes than you. You don't look proper all day, you don't look like a ruler. He had an indifferent look. Isn't it just being the Empress Dowager? You want to praise your son, but you talk about me as if I'm worthless. I don't look proper all day, and you're still plotting against me? Chapter 806. Wang Daoyuan didn't care about these trivial matters in the first place. Now, he had already handed over his authority. Wang Mingchen had been managing the country for decades without any problems. There was no need for him to care about the future of the Yan kingdom. He just needed to focus on being the stabilizing force. In the following days, Wang Daoyuan continued to cultivate in the Jade Spring Peak. Ever since he took down the Black Ice Tortoise, the demons in the north of the mountain didn't dare to stay under his nose and fled north. Even Zhong Zhenyang and the others who were deep in the north of the mountain didn't see any demon beasts. There were no rank 5 demon beasts in the sky/mountain range. Demons of rank 4 and below only dared to cause trouble. Now, they didn't even dare to show their faces. In the past, the demon beasts in the Wanchuan River were the most active. Ever since Wang Daoyuan left the sword puppet in the Wanchuan market. If any demon beast dared to cause trouble, it would be struck by lightning. The demon beasts in the 3 directions were intimidated and became much more obedient. The situation in the Yan kingdom was much better now. When the demon beasts were causing trouble, a large number of itinerant cultivators who made a living in the sky/mountain range escaped. Now that the situation had improved, they returned again. The business in the various markets had improved significantly. The Fallen Dragon Ridge didn't suffer much from this demon beast rampage. It was only a rank 2 superior spirit vein. Most of the demon beasts weren't interested in it. In addition, there was a rank 3 superior spirit beast, the Thunder Ape. There wasn't much impact. After cultivating in the Jade Spring Peak for 2 years, there were no more demon beasts harassing the Yen Kingdom. There was also news from the West Sea that there were 3 Yuanying forces in charge. Wang Daoyuan repaired the Tai Divine Sword. Perfected Cloud Sword had a rank 5 legendary magic artifact and could exert the strength of an early-stage Yuanying force for a short period of time. With so many experts in charge, many demon beasts in the West Sea were killed and were no longer as rampant. At this time, the demon beasts in the East Sea were making a big move. Wang Daoyuan received a message from Linhai Prefecture that a large number of demon beasts had gathered 1,000 miles east of the mouth of the Wanchuan River. Before Wang Daoyuan returned to Beiyuan, perfected Lei Yen was in charge here. Both sides of the Wanchuan River had people specially assigned to provide information. Now that adept Lei Yen had gone to the West Sea, this information was naturally in the hands of Wang Daoyuan. There were many islands of different sizes in the sea to the east of the Thousand Rivers estuary. However, most of these islands were sandbars formed by the sediment of the Wanchuan River. Most of the islands did not have spirit veins. Now, most of the rogue cultivators in the Linhai state had fled to the west of the sky/mountain range. There were no demonic beasts in the East Sea that cared about anything. When this group of demonic beasts gathered, their only goal was to break into the Wanchuan River. He had been researching the combination of the water dragon art and divine ability for a few years, but he had never had the chance to put it into practice. This group of rank 4 demonic beasts delivered themselves to his doorstep, just in time for him to practice. After saying goodbye to Zhou Luan, he left the underground cave. He boarded the flying boat and flew toward the Wanchuan River. The Wanchuan River was now peaceful. There were no traces of demonic beasts. In the 10,000 Rivers Valley, when they returned from the Sea of 7 Stars, demonic beasts would appear from time to time on the cliffs on both sides of the valley. But now, not even a shadow of a ghost could be seen. They passed through the valley and arrived at Linhai Prefecture. Gu Chengfeng was already waiting at the exit of the valley. He should be around 900 years old, and his cultivation had reached the peak of Golden Core. He was quite talented. If the main spirit vein of the Sky Chop mountain range recovered to rank 5, he still had hope of forming his nascent soul. He cupped his hands toward Wang Daoyuan and said, "Greetings, senior." Wang Daoyuan stopped the flying boat. "Gu Daoyu, you don't have to be so polite. We used to fight side by side in the past, so we can talk as equals. Didn't the Gu clan move to Linchuan Prefecture? Why is Daoyu still here?" Gu Chengfeng sighed. Linhai Prefecture is the foundation of the Gu clan's more than 10 generations of hard work. I really can't bear to give it up like this. I've lived for more than 900 years, and I've lived long enough to guard this family business. We need to monitor the demonic beasts in Linhai Prefecture, and we can't do it without a golden core cultivator, so I stayed here. The demonic beasts in the outer sea have gathered, so I went to investigate. A day ago, there were already over 100 of them. I don't know what the situation is like now. There aren't many people left in Linhai Prefecture. Even if it's swallowed by the beast tide, it's not a big deal. I'm just worried that these demonic beasts will go against the current and pass through the Sky Chop mountain range, threatening the inland. Wang Daoyuan nodded. I'm also worried that these guys will go against the current. More than half of the human territory is in the Wanchuan River basin. If we let the demonic beasts roam free, I'm afraid the human race will suffer heavy losses. I'll go to the sea to investigate and kill their power. With that, he steered the flying boat towards the east. Wang Daoyuan had cultivated the complete heaven-peering technique. With his naked eye and the heaven-peering eye, his detection range had greatly increased. Before reaching the coast, he saw demonic beasts jumping out of the sea from afar. Below the sea, there was also a black mass. The flying boat continued forward and came to a place thousands of miles away from the demonic beasts. Using the heaven-peering technique, he didn't discover the aura of a rank 5 demonic beast. However, the number of rank 4 demonic beasts here had already exceeded 200. If there were only these rank 4 demonic beasts, it would be impossible. If the bastards didn't come out, he would use these rank 4 demonic beasts to practice. Domain divine abilities were best at group battles. Of course, it was impossible to fight 200 rank 4 demonic beasts at the same time. However, he was a Yuanian cultivator. Rank 4 demonic beasts didn't have the initiative. He could attack more than 10 demonic beasts at the same time and kill as many as he could. If the demonic beasts wanted to counterattack, they would have to discover where he was first. He put away the flying boat, put on the black demon robe, and used the concealment devil art. This move could even fool late-stage Yuanian cultivators. It was impossible for these rank 4 demonic beasts to discover it. He flew near the demonic beasts and instantly used his divine ability. He converted all the spirit chi in the divine ability domain to the water attribute and condensed it into 3 spirit chi balls. He drew out a wisp of Gui water death flame and ignited the spirit chi balls, transforming them into flame essence. A high-pitched dragon roar came from the flames. This was what the water-based demonic beasts were most afraid of. At that moment, they felt terrified. Then, the spirit chi balls turned into black fire dragons and attacked the 3 demonic beasts. Even if it was an ordinary mid-nascent soul cultivator, killing a 4th-order demonic beast would be a piece of cake. Even if Wang Daoyuan's technique wasn't mature yet, killing rank 4 demonic beasts was still a piece of cake. The spirit chi in the domain was sucked dry, and the spirit chi from the outside world was quickly replenished. He converted all the spirit chi into the water attribute and gathered it on the 3 fire dragons. The black fire dragon's body continued to expand, and its power grew stronger and stronger. He divided the 3 fire dragons into 6 and attacked the 6 demonic beasts at the same time. These rank 4 demonic beasts were naturally intelligent. They wouldn't just stay there and wait to be beaten. They all used their innate techniques to attack the 6 fire dragons. This time, only 1 water dragon successfully killed the demonic beasts. The other 6 fire dragons were scattered, and black flames danced in the sky. Wang Daoyuan didn't care. He reformed the scattered flames into fire dragons and continued to attack the demonic beasts. They didn't even know where their opponents were and could only tangle with the fire dragons. This time, the demonic beasts were somewhat desperate. The fire dragons couldn't be killed, and there were more and more of them. Some of the demonic beasts began to dive into the deep sea in an attempt to avoid the attacks. However, there were still some who weren't afraid of death and continued to fight the fire dragons. After absorbing enough spirit chi, the fire dragons split into 12 again. This time, there were even more demonic beasts running away. Soon, 70 to 80 of the 200 demonic beasts escaped. If this continued, all the demonic beasts would have to escape. A crocodile with a horn emerged from the water and roared, "Who dares to ambush us, demonic beasts? When the Nether Water Patriarch comes, you will die without a burial place." This was a Hui dragon in human form and could speak human language. The other rank 5 beast was the Nether Water Black Turtle. The Nether Water Patriarch that the Hui dragon mentioned should be that turtle. It seemed that the rank 5 beast was the one who ordered the demonic beasts to gather here. Wang Daoyuan controlled a water dragon to attack the Hui dragon. Just as the Hui dragon was about to die, a wave suddenly came and scattered the fire dragon, saving the Hui dragon's life. A low voice came from the bottom of the sea. "Dao Yu is a Yuanian cultivator. Why do you have to bully a junior? If you want to fight, I will play with you." Chapter 807. Wang Daoyuan wasn't worried. Instead, he was happy that the Dark Water Black Turtle had finally shown up. After dealing with this guy, the entire Yen Kingdom would be at peace for a while. Soon, a black turtle with a diameter of 300 meters floated up from the deep sea. A mid-stage Yuanian cultivator with a domain ability. No wonder Black Ice Dao Yu was defeated by you. He was stupid enough to leave the frozen ice field and fight you in the desert oasis. If we were on land, I wouldn't be your match. If we were in a river or lake, the water area would be too small. I might not be able to take you down. But this is the sea. There's endless seawater. Your domain ability is too shallow. You're far inferior to me in controlling water. Fighting me in the sea is no different from suicide. Then, a huge whirlpool suddenly appeared in the sea. The surrounding seawater and the spiritual qi in the air were sucked into the whirlpool. Even Wang Daoyuan felt the huge suction force. The Class 4 demons naturally didn't dare to participate in the Yuanying level battle. They all fled east. Without the old turtle targeting them, they escaped easily. Wang Daoyuan was in trouble. Although the old turtle couldn't lock onto him, it could sense his approximate location. The suction force of the whirlpool was mainly aimed at his location. He couldn't escape with ordinary flying methods. He could only use an escape technique to get away from the whirlpool. Once he used it, his whereabouts would be exposed. However, since the old turtle had shown up, there was no point in hiding. The old turtle looked at him and nodded. You're not simple. There's no aura of decay on you. You should be under 500 years old. You have such strength at such a young age. If we don't get rid of you, you'll be a disaster for us demons. Before it finished speaking, a huge water column gushed out from the whirlpool. It used the whirlpool to draw seawater and used the spiritual qi in it to cast spells. The effect of this method in the sea was no less than a domain ability. Wang Daoyuan used the cloud mist escape to dodge, and the water column dived into the sea. As soon as he stopped, the water column gushed out from the sea. It was even stronger than before. Wang Daoyuan was ashamed of his inferiority to be able to control the seawater so smoothly. Without the use of sword cultivation spells, the old turtle's strength was slightly superior. But overall, it was still at the same level. It was good to use it as a sparring partner. It was also a good opportunity to learn his water manipulation skills. Wang Daoyuan fused the 12 water dragons of Returnance flames together, transforming them into a dragon that was over 10,000 feet long. The dragon wrapped itself around the water column released by Old Tortoise. The flames on the dragon's body ignited the entire water column. After the water spiritual power in the water column was ignited by the Gui water death flame, it was equivalent to being refined by Wang Daoyuan. It would be extremely difficult for Old Tortoise to take control of it. He didn't waste any more of his energy and directly shattered the water column. Even the black fire dragon collapsed at the same time. Black flames scattered across the sea for hundreds of miles. Just as Wang Daoyuan was about to recondense the flames, the vortex swallowed them again. All the flames were swallowed by the vortex and sent hundreds of miles away. The rootless fire was too far away from its owner and was suppressed by the divine ability. Soon, it was completely extinguished. Because the distance was too far, Wang Daoyuan couldn't retrieve the spiritual power. The spiritual power that he had accumulated for half a day when dealing with the rank 4 demon beast was gone just like that. The advantage of the domain divine ability was broken by Old Tortoise in this way. His method was still too simple. He could only rely on the water dragon to fight. Compared to Old Tortoise, who had lived for more than 10,000 years, he was still too far away. He had to research more methods in the future. Otherwise, when he encountered these old monsters who had lived for more than 10,000 years, he would have to use sword cultivation methods. However, he had to learn new tricks. Through the domain divine ability, he could also see the internal structure of the vortex. Imitating it wasn't a problem. Wang Daoyuan also controlled the seawater to form a vortex. At the same time, he used the domain divine ability to control the seawater near Old Tortoise's vortex so that the vortex could absorb less spiritual power. Then, he controlled a large amount of seawater to merge into his vortex. Suddenly, Old Tortoise's vortex spiritual power decreased. Wang Daoyuan hurriedly used the smoke escape technique, and in the instant that he escaped, a pillar of water shot up into the sky from his original position. He didn't dare to be careless again. He divided his attention to monitor the movements below the sea. The water column didn't hit him. It didn't chase after him anymore. Instead, it directly rushed into the vortex he condensed. The structure of the vortex was directly destroyed. The spiritual power that it had absorbed was all wasted. Old Tortoise mocked. When it comes to controlling water, even a human who has awakened the water-controlling divine ability can't compare to my Black Tortoise bloodline. Do you really think you can beat me with your half-baked water-controlling skills? The vortex was still gradually expanding, constantly extracting spiritual power for Old Tortoise's use. Its power was also getting stronger and stronger. Ordinary methods could no longer break it. Wang Daoyuan couldn't continue to practice the water-controlling divine ability. Since he couldn't afford to play, he would flip the table. He took out the Sword of Origin Restoration and instantly condensed the demon-slaying sword. With a wave of the long sword in his hand, the huge demon-slaying sword split the seawater in front of him in half. This place was the sea near the mouth of the 10,000 rivers. The seawater here wasn't deep. With a slash of the sword, the bottom of the sea was directly exposed. A chasm more than 300 miles long and 1,000 feet wide appeared on the surface of the sea. The seawater was split in half. There were some fish and prawns on the bottom of the sea that were killed by the sword chi. Some of the stronger ones were half dead, bouncing on the bottom of the sea. Of course, Old Tortoise's vortex was not spared. This sword was mainly aimed at the vortex. The entire vortex was cut in half and soon dissipated. Old Tortoise's eyes revealed a look of panic. He thought that victory was in his hands, but the situation was reversed in an instant. Wang Daoyuan showed a kind smile on his face. How about I put away my sword and we continue to compete in the water-controlling divine ability? Old Tortoise finally reacted. He knew that it would be difficult for him to take this sword. Even a fool wouldn't compete with an opponent who could kill him at any time. Without saying a word, he turned around and ran. Turtle-type demon beasts had extremely strong defense. In this sea, with the help of the water-controlling divine ability, their attack power wasn't weak either. It was just that their ability to escape was a bit lacking. Moreover, the sea was too shallow to hide from the detection of divine consciousness. Old Tortoise used the water-controlling divine ability and swam quickly in the sea. Wang Daoyuan's body turned into a long sword and instantly ran in front of him. Using the Sword Shadow Divine Light technique, 10 sword shadows appeared out of thin air. Together with the long sword Wang Daoyuan transformed into, slashing at Old Tortoise's head. The possibility of capturing Old Tortoise alive in the sea with the water-controlling divine ability was very slim. Instead of wasting his energy, it was better to get rid of him as soon as possible. The golden core of a fifth-order demon beast could also help a cultivator break their core and form their nascent soul. At this time, violent fluctuations of the power of laws appeared on Old Tortoise's body, and his chi and blood also became violent. Black light flickered on his body. A moment later, a layer of tortoise shell phantom formed on his body. This tortoise shell was different from his own tortoise shell. It was exactly the same as the black tortoises. Moreover, it emitted the aura of the black tortoise. It seemed that Old Tortoise had burned its black tortoise bloodline to withstand this attack. 11 long swords slashed up, and Wang Daoyuan only felt a strong rebound force. His whole body was sent flying, and all 10 sword shadows were shattered. The sky-splitting sword escape was also broken. The black tortoise's shadow on Old Tortoise's body only became a little dimmer. After withstanding this attack, Old Tortoise did not continue fighting and quickly swam into the deep sea. The depth of the sea was more than 50,000 feet. If there was an oceanic trench, it could be as deep as 10,000 feet. If Old Tortoise escaped, Wang Daoyuan did not have the ability to find him in the vast sea. He used the sky-splitting sword escape again and followed Old Tortoise. The 5 natal magic artifacts in his body had fused into Yinglong's demon-slaying sword, and the Yinglong between Yuanying's eyebrows had also fused into the longsword. A high-pitched dragon roar sounded, and the netherwater black tortoise could not help but shiver. A bright yellow longsword appeared and then turned into a yellow light. The black tortoise's shadow on Old Tortoise's body did not even last half a breath under the yellow light. The yellow light pierced the netherwater black tortoise's tail and came out from its neck, giving it a chill. blood gushed out from both of Old Tortoise's heads, and the sea was dyed red. Chapter 808. Wang Daoyuan used his heaven-prying eye to investigate. The old turtle's internal organs had been destroyed by the sword chi of Yinglong's demon-slaying sword. Without yuanying, the rank 5 demonic beast's body was severely injured. There was basically no hope of survival. Now that its vitality had completely disappeared, it was indeed dead. Unfortunately, the rank 4 demonic beasts that he had killed earlier were all stirred up by the old turtle's vortex. He recalled Yinglong's demon-slaying sword and put the old turtle's body into the space of the spiritual pearl, handing it over to his clone to deal with. The rank 4 demonic beasts fled in all directions. Wang Daoyuan did not have the leisure to chase after them one by one. After dealing with the rank 5 demonic beast, the remaining minions could not cause any big waves. He took out the flying boat and flew towards Linhai Prefecture. Gu Chengfeng had been at the mouth of the 10,000 rivers, looking east. With the eyesight of a golden core cultivator, he could not see the specific situation clearly from a distance of more than 1,000 miles. However, he could still see the large-scale spell cast by Wang Daoyuan and the netherwater black turtle. Seeing the flying boat flying over, he could not hide the excitement on his face. "Daoyu, I wonder if you have taken down the rank 5 demonic beast?" Wang Daoyuan nodded. "I killed a mid-grade rank 5 netherwater black turtle. The group of rank 4 demonic beasts that gathered before have also been dispersed by me." Gu Qingfeng cupped his hands. "Thank you, Daoyu, for getting rid of this great evil. The family business that my Gu family has accumulated for more than 10 generations is finally saved." Wang Daoyuan waved his hand and said, "No one can stay out of the battle for the fate of the race. It's only right for me to take action." However, Daoyu can't let his guard down. Back then, Beiyuan Xiaoxian was part of the great cultivation world. The demon race left behind a lot of wealth. If 2 mid-grade rank 5 demonic beasts could survive until now, it was possible for more rank 5 demonic beasts to survive. Daoyu is guarding Linhai Prefecture, so you must not let your guard down. Once you find anything unusual with the demonic beasts, inform me immediately. This is to prevent the demonic beasts from taking advantage of the situation and causing huge losses to the human race. Gu Qingfeng also had a solemn look on his face. "Daoyu, don't worry. The abnormal movements of the demon beasts in the sea are not only related to the safety of the human race, but also to the foundation of the Gu family. I will do my best, be it for public or private reasons. As long as I'm still alive, I'll keep an eye on the Eastern Sea. I will inform Daoyu immediately if anything happens to the demon race." After saying a few words, Wang Daoyuan left Linhai Prefecture and headed west. The Wanchuan River was still peaceful. Other than the sound of flowing water, he couldn't even hear the usual roars of demonic beasts. The flying vessel did not stop at Myriad Plains Market but headed straight for the capital, Clear Glass City. After entering the capital, Wang Mingchen personally led a group of people to the imperial city to welcome them. When he saw Wang Daoyuan, he bowed. "Welcome back, Imperial Father." In the space of the Spirit Pearl, the clone had almost finished dealing with the corpse of the underworld water black turtle. All the blood essence was extracted. The underworld water black turtle's black tortoise bloodline was not low. Using its blood essence to refine bloodline pills could help turtle-type demon beasts awaken their black tortoise bloodline and break through the bloodline bottleneck. 4 half-step yuanying and peak-stage golden core cultivators. A rank 5 demon core was an opportunity to break through to the yuanying realm. The remaining body parts and the turtle shell were excellent materials to refine defensive Dharma artifacts. Unfortunately, the soul was not preserved. The soul of a rank 5 demon beast could be refined into a pseudo-weapon spirit with some methods to increase the power of Dharma artifacts. Wang Daoyuan waved his hand. "No need to be so polite." With that, he took out the corpse of the underworld water black turtle from the space of the Spirit Pearl. Hang the corpse of the underworld water black turtle at the entrance of the imperial city. Tell the citizens of the Yen Kingdom and all the humans that the 2 rank 5 demon beasts of the demon race have been taken down. Since the appearance of the rank 5 demon beasts more than 40 years ago, the entire human race had been in a state of panic. They were all worried that the demon beasts would attack their spiritual mountains. Now that the 2 rank 5 demon beasts had been taken care of, it could also boost their morale. Wang Mingchen ordered his subordinates to hang the corpse of the underworld water black turtle. Wang Daoyuan continued, other than the matter of the demon beasts, we still have to deal with the matter of the spirit vein. I have some mid-grade rank 5 elements essence in my hands. Fusing it with the spirit vein can also slowly upgrade it. As the capital of the Yan Kingdom, Qingli City was extremely suitable in terms of geographical location. The only flaw was that the grade of the spirit vein was too low. No matter what, the Yan Kingdom was still a force with Yuanian cultivators in charge. It was embarrassing to say that the capital was built on a mid-grade rank 3 spirit vein. Wang Mingchen hurriedly said, "Father, please follow me." He brought Wang Daoyuan to an underground secret room in the imperial city. Beneath the secret room was the Qingli City's spirit vein. This spirit vein was only a mid-grade rank 3 spirit vein and had not formed a spirit vein crystal. There was only a rock belt full of spirit energy. If the spirit vein could be upgraded to rank 4, this rock belt would turn into a spirit vein crystal. Wang Daoyuan took out the dust-returning flame and killed a path along the rock belt. Then he set up a spirit-nurturing array on the rock belt. This method was similar to upgrading the Jade Spring Peak spirit vein. With the 5 elements essence, upgrading the spirit vein would be simple. There was no need to make a hole in the spirit vein, fuse the spirit vein essence, and then seal it. He took out 5 types of 5 elements essence from the space of the spirit pearl, each 1 inch long. He used the 5 element spirit fire to burn them into liquid and directly fused them into the rock belt. In just half an hour, the 5 elements essence had completely fused into the spirit vein. The effect of fusing rank 5 elements essence into a mid-grade rank 3 spirit vein was still very obvious. The spirit energy fluctuations on the rock belt had obviously increased, but it had not reached the point of upgrading. However, from the looks of it, it would only take a few months for it to be upgraded to a high-grade rank 3 spirit vein. Although this method was more stable, the speed of upgrading the spirit vein was far slower than fusing with the spirit vein essence. It needed to be slowly activated. Using the Earth Mountain technique, he sealed the spirit vein. Wang Daoyuan instructed, in the next few years, the spirit vein's grade will rapidly increase. After that, the speed will slow down, but it will still slowly increase. In the end, the spirit vein will have a slight chance of upgrading to a rank 5 spirit vein. Don't use too much spirit energy in the next few years. When the spirit vein stabilizes, it should be able to grow to a rank 4 spirit vein. Wang Mingchen nodded, "Don't worry, Imperial Father. I will send people to look after the spirit vein." Wang Daoyuan said a few words, then returned to the Jade Spring Peak. Now that the Green Willow secret territory had appeared, the Jade Spring Peak's importance was not as important as before. However, it was still the symbol of the Wang family. Taking advantage of the fact that the demonic beasts were relatively quiet and there was no need to activate the mountain protecting formation, he could upgrade the Jade Spring Peak's spirit vein's grade. Beiyuan Xiaoxian's spirit chi was recovering. If he fused some Gui water essence into the Jade Spring Peak spirit vein, the possibility of breaking through to the rank 5 spirit vein in the future was still very high. His little uncle Wang Shouzhe was already a 4th-tier low-grade array master, so Wang Daoyuan did not need to worry about setting up the spirit nurturing array. He arrived at the escape tunnel of the Jade Spring Peak and followed the previous method. He melted a 3-inch long piece of Gui water essence into liquid and merged it into the Jade Spring Peak's spirit vein crystal. There was no need to worry about the other spirit veins. The spirit vein in the Green Willow secret realm was related to the Big Willow tree. Even if he infused the 5 elements essence into it, it wouldn't have much of an effect. After obtaining the Green Willow secret realm, the importance of the 5 elements secret realm was greatly diminished. It was only used as a secret base to nurture the clansmen. Now, the 5 spiritual veins in the 5 elements mystery realm had all grown to upper rank 3. The core of the secret realm was the 5 elements heaven suppressing seal, a mid-grade 4th-tier magic artifact. The upper limit of the spirit vein's growth was limited by the core of the secret realm. No matter how much 5 elements essence was infused into it, it could only grow to the middle grade of the 4th stage at most. There was not much value in investing a large amount of resources in the elemental mystery realm. 2 months later, the spirit vein of the capital, Clear Glass City, was raised to the 3rd level high grade. Moreover, the concentration of spiritual energy was increasing more and more violently. According to this trend, it wouldn't take too long for it to be raised to the 4th level low grade. The concentration of spiritual energy produced by the Jade Spring Peak's spirit vein had also clearly increased. It was not far from the 4th level high grade. It was hard to say whether it could be raised to the 5th level, but raising it to the 4th level high grade was definitely not a problem. Chapter 809. After solving the problem of the spirit vein, Wang Daoyuan had nothing else to deal with for the time being. Thus, he returned to his underground cave residence to cultivate. However, the heavens were not on his side. News came from the West Sea that there were traces of a rank 5 demonic beast. A rank 5 inferior grade demonic beast came ashore from the West Sea and attacked the Archaic Arcanum sect's property. The human race's reinforcements were not in time and were unable to take it down. The Archaic Arcanum sect lost 2 golden core cultivators and one of their offshore properties was severely damaged. It was not a good sign for such a thing to appear in the West Sea. The most frightening thing was that this beast was not a tortoise-type demonic beast, but a Hui dragon. Although the Hui dragon's lifespan was not short, its lifespan was not as long as a rank 5 tortoise-type demonic beast. A rank 5 Hui dragon's lifespan might exceed 10,000 years, but it would not exceed that by much. A demonic beast would need a few thousand years to reach the rank 5 realm from birth. If it broke through the rank 5 10,000 years ago, it would not be possible for it to survive until now. If it was a demonic beast from 10,000 years ago, it might be very powerful, but there would not be many of them. After all, not all demonic beasts could hibernate for 10,000 years. If it broke through later, it would mean that there was rank 5 spiritual energy in the West Sea. This would be troublesome. After so many years, how many rank 5 demonic beasts would there be? Furthermore, there might be many peak rank 5 demonic beasts. Peak rank 5 demonic beasts might not be stronger than old Master Huang. However, it would be difficult for Wang Daoyuan to deal with such a level of strength. If there were more peak rank 5 demonic beasts, the human race would not be able to deal with them. With the appearance of this rank 5 inferior grade Hui dragon, there might be a large number of rank 5 demonic beasts appearing in the West Sea. Wang Daoyuan had to make preparations to head to the West Sea. Seeing his serious expression, Zhou Luan asked, "What's wrong? Why do you look so pale?" Wang Daoyuan sighed. A rank 5 inferior grade Hui dragon appeared in the West Sea. It attacked one of the Archaic Arcanum sect's properties and killed 2 golden core cultivators. Zhou Luan frowned and thought for a while. It is very difficult for a rank 5 Hui dragon to live for so long. This Hui dragon should have broken through to the rank 5 later on. The West Sea might have always had a rank 5 spirit vein. Of course, the Hui dragon might have been lucky and found a rank 5 spirit item that had been left behind. "Are you going to leave again and go to the West Sea?" Wang Daoyuan nodded his head and said, "It's hard to say now. If this Drake is really lucky and managed to find a spiritual item left behind over 10,000 years ago, then there won't be too many 5th-order demonic beasts in the West Ocean. With Master, the exquisite pagoda, and my black ice tortoise clone, guarding the West Sea shouldn't be too big of a problem. If the West Sea really had a rank 5 spirit vein, then there would be a war between the races. This was also very easy to distinguish. If more non-turtle type class 5 demonic beasts were to appear in the West Sea, they would be able to confirm that there was a class 5 spirit vein in the West Sea. In order to prevent the situation at the West Sea from worsening, I left in a hurry. I have to make preparations now. After I leave, you will continue to oversee Jade Spring Peak. I'll leave the 2 puppets to you. That sword puppet is also my clone. It can handle things on its own. I'll let it oversee the Green Willow secret realm. As for the other puppet, you can use your divine sense to control it to fight enemies. However, the spiritual power inside the puppet is limited. I've placed 3 spirit gathering pearls inside the puppet, which is equivalent to 6 high-grade spirit stones. If it's used up, it won't be able to fight for a short time. If it's placed near a Class 4 spirit vein, it'll take a month to completely recover. I'll leave Jade Spring Peak and Clear Glass City to you. Also, leave my clone Jiaqi behind. You don't have to worry about him. I'll let him oversee Wanchuan Market. Zhou Luan nodded. Don't worry. Although my strength is far inferior to yours, it won't be a problem for me to help look after the family business. If there's an enemy I can't deal with, I'll think of a way to send a message to you. Now that our relationship has been made public, Blood Shadow already knows about it. They haven't made any moves, so I can still use Blood Shadow's information system as I wish. It seems that group of old fellows have tacitly agreed. When you leave, bring along the command medallion of the Northern Mountain Branch's Vice Hall Master. If there's any urgent news, it'll be faster to send a message. Wang Daoyuan smiled and said, Don't be so anxious. What kind of situation is still undetermined? Let's see the situation first. Right now, there's no Class 5 spirit vein, so the cultivation speed is too slow. Let's make the best use of the time to cultivate. In the next few months, Class 5 demonic beasts would occasionally appear in the Western Sea, but they didn't cause too much damage. Apart from that Hui dragon, there was also a giant python and a Class 5 low-grade mixed blood rock. 3 demonic beasts that weren't known for their lifespans appeared in a row. It couldn't be that each demonic beast was lucky enough to coincidentally encounter a Class 5 spirit vein. It seemed that there really was a Class 5 spirit vein in the Western Sea. Although there hadn't been a request for help, Wang Daoyuan didn't plan to wait any longer. The demonic beasts were already showing signs of coming ashore. These 3 demonic beasts might just be scouting. Only after figuring out the strength of the human side could they make a move. Once they made a move, it would be a disaster. By then, it might be too late to ask for help. Wang Daoyuan took out a storage bag and handed it to Zhou Luan. The demonic beasts might invade the Western Sea at any time. I have to hurry over and prepare. Otherwise, once the demonic beasts invade, the Archaic Arcanum sect might not be able to wait for my help. There are 20 spirit gathering pearls inside. If you encounter a Class 5 demonic beast and the puppet doesn't have enough spirit energy, change the spirit gathering pearls for the puppet. If there's anything you don't understand, ask Jiaqi. There are 40 nascent cultivating elixirs, 39 death resurrection elixirs, and 20 vats of 100 fruit wine. I'll leave the clan's side to you. Zhou Luan kept the storage bag and smiled. Don't worry. When you went to the Sea of 7 Stars, before honored teacher came over, I've been guarding the clan's side. Wang Daoyuan hugged Zhou Luan and took advantage of her before leaving amidst Zhou Luan's scolding. The shore of the Western Sea was less than 1,000,000 miles away from the Jade Spring Peak. It would only take a few days by flying on a Class 5 high-grade flying boat. South of Mount Huiyan, there were still many mountains over 10,000 feet tall. If he wanted to cross over, he would have to go deep into the 9 heavens astral wind layer. The flying boat was not like a flying warship. Its hull was not strong and could not withstand the destruction of the 9 heavens astral wind. North of the mountain, there were no tall mountains blocking the way. To avoid detours, he went from the mountains north. 3 days later, the flying boat arrived at the shore of the Western Sea. Looking up, there were many large and small white reefs in the sea. There were also many rocky islands in the distance. The vegetation on the islands was not very lush. The concentration of spirit energy in the sea was denser than on the shore. Wang Daoyuan sensed carefully and did not find any aura of the power of law. Moreover, the spirit energy in the sea was somewhat violent. It was similar to the spirit energy in the southern wasteland, but there were obvious differences. The reason for the violent spirit energy was not explained in detail by the ancient powerhouses. Wang Daoyuan naturally did not have the ability to investigate. He came from the mountains north and was now tens of thousands of miles north of the Archaic Mystery sect. The demon race was now at the stage of probing the human race. Naturally, he could not expose his whereabouts. He put away the rank 5 flying boat and replaced it with a rank 4 mid-grade flying boat. He lowered his flying altitude and flew in the south direction. His own spirit energy fluctuations were also suppressed to the late Aurus core stage to avoid attracting the demon race's attention. A few hours later, he arrived near the Archaic Mysteries Sect's mountain gate. There was nothing special about the Archaic Mysteries Sect's mountain gate. It was built on a low mountain range that was only a few hundred feet tall. Although this mountain range did not look impressive, it still had a large peak rank 4 spirit vein. There were all kinds of formations on the mountain. With Wang Daoyuan's cultivation, he did not dare to barge in recklessly. He took out the communication jade talisman and sent a message to his master, telling him that he had come. Then he sent a message to Daoist master Xian Tian, asking him to send someone to quietly pick him up and not reveal his whereabouts. After a while, Xin Jiuxiao came over sneakily. When he saw Wang Daoyuan, he said intimately, "Brother is finally here. There are already 3 rank 5 demonic beasts on the demon race's side. Father and martial uncle Lei Yan were considering whether to send you a message. Now that brother is here, we are relieved." You're tuning in to the Wang Lin's Journey YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.